Hello? There we go. Yep, of course. It wouldn't be a Humble Pie stream if it wasn't for an audio issue. D. Cantley Fly, welcome. Good to see you. Zoo, gee, wow. Wait, no, I think we're in the wrong chat here. We got Lonely Doombot devs in the chat. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to do this little cut here so I can cut it up in my post editing because, of course, the audio didn't want to work. Here we go. And welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D. And today we have got a special event for you. We have got an amazing day of 3 rounds of OP16 ready to go up. All the decks ready to go. Deck list mastered. All the people ready to gather and get themselves a nice little treat from what was the celebration of our Season 7 finale. This one was for a box tourney. This one, the top 4 players split an entire box. Of course, it's scaled on the amount of packs based on what position you ended up having to land in during this tournament, but everyone came together to get some free food. We had tacos coming from Bonefish Grill, which is nice and pricey. We had burgers coming from Bonefish Grill, which is nice and pricey. We had little salads and everything else with little, of course, snacks and chips and everything else, but still a lot of great time, money, and consideration went into the great celebration that was the closeout for Season 7 of our Lifelink Games Season Championship. And I have some awesome news going out to the rest of you guys because the next season is going to be even better based on how we were able to resolve some of these ongoing issues when it comes to these major events that we try to host. In the chat, Xander the Dragon, always good to see you. You're, of course, going to be up here today on one of those amazing matches. I can't wait to showcase your deck. And congratulations to Xander, as we announced last week. He is our Season 7 champion. Xander taking it down with Blue Yellow Nami and showcasing the absolute strength that this powerhouse deck has been doing and demonstrating for this meta. So seriously, give a huge shout out and congratulations to Xander Dragon on his awesome performance this year, doing a phenomenal job. And then also getting himself into the next regionals is coming up in the early September. And of course, congratulations to Xander, James K, River. I'm not really going to congratulate myself, let's be real, but the people that we have found out were able to make it in to the Flame Fruit tournament this coming up September in Dallas. If you are out there and I don't know that you've made it, seriously, congratulations. I've seen a lot of people on the Twitter getting a little upset about the people congratulating those that made it. I know it sucks. I don't like being on the wait list. I know it sucks. It goes out so fast. It is a lottery type system. Be congratulatory of the people who did make it in, and do not give up hope if you're one of those few people that actually quite a few people that didn't make it in. If you didn't make it in, you are on the wait list. Do not give up hope. And we'll talk about that in a little bit here. Dev says tacos. Yes, it was really good. Lonely says, yo, who got in the Flame Fruit Colossal Tourney? So like I said, Xander the Dragon, James K, he's the our very first 2-time champion, won back-to-back champions from Season 1 to Season 2. Myself, River, who just got to the games, been doing a fantastic job and demonstrating her skills in this game, has been in the top 8 every single time she's attended one of these tournaments that we've had with plus 40 people at most of these events. So actually demonstrated that the magic skills that River brought over into the One Piece game absolutely dominating, and her and I will be on a grind getting ready for this championship as we get all of our decks together, and we're trying to play to what the format's going to be. But of course, we've got a lot of things coming that are going to make a lot of decisions on what decks her and I are going to choose for this championship, because we have the deck list coming out in next month and just a couple weeks away. And we have 6 different deck lists being dropped that are going to put some massive new power creep within a lot of different decks and making them very good. Mihawk's going to get some resurgence. Kuzan has potential. We have some awesome red decks that are going to see some great staples. We got some Big Mom or Charlotte Katakuri type upgrades that could see some excellent play and could see some upgrades in other Charlotte decks and some Big Mom decks. And of course, we have some Straw Hat upgrades and the rest of that stuff that people want to see. So we do have the potential for some massive new upgrades and gameplay coming with the new decks coming out. And of course, before we even get to the Flame tournament, we've got the OP17 anniversary set that we're going to talk about a little bit more later here today, about how awesome the set is looking, what it's looking like we're going to get, the new release and information that we have about the OP17 set and the things that you should be looking forward to. If you've been saving your money, and if you have the time right now, save your money, because this is going to be the set you're going to want to invest in. Every year anniversary sets come out, and these are the ones that are absolute bangers, and the ones that seem to go up the highest in the aftermarket in value, only because the cards inside them skyrocket in value based on the difficulty of you pulling some of the hits from these sets and the difficulty of you getting what you want to get like the hit of the hits when it comes to these boxes. Trust me, I got the Zoro from the last one. The thing's already $700-$800 for an SP. The SPs are insane. The mangas that we're going to talk about, all that stuff, we'll get into it later. But seriously, congratulations, Xander. Congratulations for both those things and getting the regionals. Xander says, I got in the Firefruit tournament. Dev says, I could have had a free place to say if I made it. I could have had, yeah, oh man, Devs. Now, did you get in the wait list, Devs? I'm curious if you got the wait list. But Lonely Dubot says, nice, I got into, hey, Lonely got in, congrats. I'll be able to meet some of you guys. Yes, it'll be fantastic. I can't wait to meet you. Of course, Lonely, I'll have this loud shirt on. You know, you can always come up to me. And of course, Lonely, you know as well as everybody else should know, if you come up, is that Jimmy D from Humro Pie? I'll have a pack on me, and I will be giving it away for free, because that's what I do. I carry around boxes of this stuff and just give away packs to all the individuals that come up and recognize me. I've been doing it for years, giving away alt-art leaders and nice little alt-art cards that we've given out to every convention. I've been to One Piece days. I've been to all kinds of things. I just give away free packs constantly. All you have to do is just come up to me and say, hey, I recognize you, and I give you packs. Up to date, I think I've given away a total of 30 packs. That's how popular I am, guys. Total of 30, like just over a box. Dev says, I wasn't even awake and I wasn't ready for it, but have you put in for the wait list now, Devs? That's one question I would have, because here's something I wanted to get into, because there's a lot of people that were a little bit disappointed about not making it in, as they should be. I want to be clear about that. I'm not trying to take away people's feelings about not making it in. It sucks. Trust me. The whole night leading up to this release of the Flame Fin Fruit, I had a lot of activities, was cleaning up the house, doing other things. And while I was there, I was like, okay, well, I got to set my alarm for this time. Okay, well, I got to make sure I'm logged into the website, and I need to make sure that it's an open window on my phone. And I said, okay, well, now I need to make sure that I have my Bondi ID ready to make sure I can copy and paste my Bondi ID in there. And then before I rolled over, I said, wait, I need to make sure that I have the right address to the Tixer account, not to the website that was talking about the event. I had to get to the Tixer account to make sure I was in there. Then I had to log into the Tixer account and say, okay, I'm logged into the Tixer account. Now I have everything set. I woke up every hour, nervous that I wasn't gonna be able to make it into this. Right. Trying to get everyone's attention, sending out messages. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to my Discord. I was putting out the links to where you guys should be at to log in, giving you guys instructions on how to log in, making sure you guys were prepared for this. I knew it was going to go quick. I knew this was going to be a big deal. A lot of people, there was things I screwed up on, and I'm hoping to rectify and get fixed, and some stuff that I really hope that we can overcome. There was a bundle that was discussed in the entire thing, but as we discussed in my Discord chat, I need to read these things a lot more carefully and thoughtfully, because when that bundle came up, all I saw was a roadblock for me not to get into the championship. So I hit deny instead of accepting that one-time purchase bundle that I did want. I just didn't know what it was at the time, and I just immediately went through to make sure I could get my invite, because the scariest thing for me was just not to get in. And I have seen my multiple times from these channels where I'll have my thing in my cart and actually taken out of my cart if I don't check out at the right moment. So out of that fear, I just pressed on and didn't hit anything else, and I just went through. I did put in a request to the Tixer event, and Tixer directed me to the One Piece event coordination. So now I'm talking to Bondi's event coordinating team and asking them to send out an email to those individuals who didn't buy the bundle to give us an opportunity to buy the bundle, because I gave them basically a complete rundown of the mentality of all of us that were in the trying to get into the Flame Fin Fruit, where it's not that we didn't want it, it's that we didn't want to take that buying that was going to take us out of the event entirely, and it was more important that we made it into the event. But now that we have made it into the event, we would like the opportunity to buy it. Now, I haven't got a response from that yet. We'll find out what One Piece says in response to that, and I will of course tell you guys when I know. But what's more than likely going to happen, if they don't give us another email saying, hey, congratulations for making the tournament, go here and get your pre-buy stuff before you get to the tournament, they're going to have at the event, the 5,000 people that made it in, are going to be able to go into the vendor and buy them. Likely, and this is what happens most of the time, they'll print enough and you'll have an opportunity to buy one. They'll give you access to one of them and you'll be able to buy them. That does mean the people that did get lucky, like Xander, who bought his, he would have an opportunity to get two of them if he was able to get in line soon enough. So that's good on him for having recognized he could get the bundle and not fearing everything that I did, where there was two chances to get it, and both River and I just skipped through it and just ran through to get into the tournament because it was most important that we got in. All right. So with that, all of you out there, if you're on the wait list and you got in there and you were just like the refresh button at the wrong second, I feel for you. I know how you feel. I've been on Bondi events from Bondi Premiums, and I missed it by a single refresh, and I missed out on a mat. I missed out on something I was trying to purchase. It looked really nice. I was really looking forward to trying to get that, and unfortunately it didn't happen. Unlike the Bondi Premium, where I have to wait for them to maybe do a second release, which they mostly do. There's a wait list. And if there's something that you One Piece players should be familiar with, if you're not familiar with the One Piece card game, I want you to get familiar with it. These wait lists end up being like a lifeline for a lot of people. A lot of people sign up for this event in the hurry, trying to get into it. Not to mention bots. A lot of bots are signing up for these things where people are trying to sell their slot, which doesn't make a lot of sense because then you'd have to give away your account ID to go in that slot, which is kind of not okay. I don't think I would ever try to scalp something so I could sell my account information or one of my bots information. If for some reason I had a bot that had an account, I somehow could get the ticket for this thing, because you do have to have a Bondi ID to get these tickets in here. But whatever the case may be, for whatever was forcing this thing to get sold out so fast, a lot of these people sign up, but they can't actually make it. They're just getting in because they just want to make sure that they have the opportunity to participate. But most of the time something happens, life happens. You get some event in your life, like a wedding or something's happening during the summer, or getting closer, the money dries out, or you end up having a car repaired and you can't afford to go. All these things you have to take into consideration, that there will be a lot of people that drop this event. So much so that I doubt we'll actually cap at 5,000, mostly because we did cap it and we put in this lottery system. When they do this, and this is why I'm not a big fan of the way that they do these lottery systems, because most of the time when it's just open to everyone and they try to build a big enough venue for everybody, you get close to 5, maybe 10,000. It could be up to 10,000 people that could even attend at all. And I've been going to Magic Fest, Gen Cons, major events, all that kind of stuff for years and years and years, and go to these major events. They never put caps on it, and they'll always just get a steady number of a quality number of people to show up for this thing. And when you put in a lottery system, you create this massive demand for said product, and in doing so, you create a lot of people that are getting it just for the sake of getting it because they wanted to be in there, but have no intention, or sadly will not have the ability to attend the event if something in their life were to happen. All that to say, if you're on the wait list, there's still a good chance you can make it. Now, what that does is something difficult to all of you, because like me, I've got 3 friends that are on the wait list. I won't know if these individuals can even make it into the event until Wednesday, the day before I'm driving out to Texas to go to this event. Like, I won't even know if my friends are in, or what the size of my vehicle or transportation cost or even hotel costs or anything will be split until the day before I'm about to take the road trip out to Dallas. A lot of you people are flying out there. Good luck to you. A lot of people are traveling through other means. I, of course, will be driving because I'm just more comfortable that way. I like having the freedom and the ability to stop where I want to, hit those BFE stops, and find those random Walmarts in the middle of nowhere. They end up having some like amazing, crazy good stuff, like the premium boxes, illustration boxes, or other stuff that just doesn't get sold because the town doesn't know about the fad, or at least the fun of card games. So, yeah, I'm going to be driving down to Dallas, and I don't know if it's going to be me. Maybe it'll be me and one other person, or maybe it'll be me and 4 other people. Who knows? But that's the risk we're playing right now, because we don't know if we're getting in or not. You okay, girl? Are you? Oh, no. Don't drink my water. No. Don't drink. That's for plants. You don't drink that. Sorry. So yeah, when you're if you're in there and you're on the wait list, you're feeling a little just feeling pretty devastated for it, have some hope. pre-plan for it. Dedicate yourself to make sure you have a plan for it. Get with some people so you have a contingency plan if you can make it, and be prepared to attend said event if the opportunity does come your way and the slot opens up. I definitely don't think you should just miss it or just write this off, because a lot of people will write this off, and of course then those people will pass their spots, and it's going to be a crazy avalanche effect of them trying to find and fill up the 5,000 people after this because of the lottery system that they built. So we will likely not even cap at 5,000 given the way that they do these lottery systems. It happens all the time. So let's get into some event coverage so I can tell you guys and show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so you guys have something else to look at besides my face here. This is the Firefruit tournament that's happening in Dallas. This thing sold out in 30 seconds, according to some reports on social media. And it came down to, did you hit refresh at the right moment? If you've been a long-time member and someone who's been watching this for a while, hopefully you guys were in my Discord and saw that what we were doing was making sure that people logged into the Tixer account, had logged into it, had their bond ID ready, and were fully ready to get into this thing, hit refresh at the 10 o'clock point, and get their tickets in. I know a lot of people that really want to get in this event that got in, so congratulations to all of them. And do not take away or take it for granted the amazing opportunity that you have right now being able to participate in this first ever Flame Fruit Coliseum type event. It's going to be a big event. Limited edition stuff, of course, going to be handed out there. The cards that you make after 3 wins are going to be absolutely insane. You're going undefeated after 3. You're cooking with gas and awesome prize cards that are going to be just absolutely hot demand for everybody out there. So I wish the best. I want the rest of you guys to be following like I am. What's good? Where's the minute going? Remember, at OP17, we're in tandem with the East. No more feeding off from the East to find out what's good. We are going to have to discover and make it good on our own and make the meta what it is. So we're going to have the opportunity to take a look at these new deck lists, these new leaders, these new cards, and make something competitive for this event. And we'll only have, I think, maybe 4 weeks of testing at best for us to try to find what is the best deck. So watch a lot of these content creators that are on the sim and playing with these decks, because of course sim you can get early access once the cards are spoiled. But we're going to have sim practice and other things rolling out there, and content creators that are going to be telling us what is tier 1, what has been performing well. And of course then, not only do you have to know what deck is going to be doing well, you also have to know how to play that deck and how that deck plays against other decks. So you're going to want to be prepared as best you possibly can to do the best you possibly can, given it is a best of 1 format. From what I understand, it's going to be single elimination, or the way it works in placement. But basically 3 wins of the 6 will get you in a good spot. Every win after that is going to be putting you into a better spot. Then of course day 2, you play test 2 out of 3 with the smaller pods until we have a crowned winner, which will be getting the 1 of 1 Flame Fruit card, which is going to be worth millions. I can just see it. If there is a dedicated person who has that kind of money on them, that card could easily go for millions. It will be a 1 of 1. The One Ring went that high. Of course, it took a rich person to buy it, but who knows? There are a lot of people that love One Piece. I wouldn't be too surprised if you found someone that had that kind of money and One Piece as well. Yeah, you're good. All right, so I mean, again, congratulations, you made it in. If you guys are not part of my Discord, please do so. I teach everybody the instructions on how to get through these and get your best chance to get them. Most of you that were with me the day before for the Premium Bondi got at least 1 item from the Premium Bondi. The mat is a anomaly. You're not always going to get it, guys. I'm sorry. It's one of those things. It's not in the cards. But we have got a ton of information about the One Piece TC release and the booster box and what do we know about it. And I did want to go over it. Okay, so we don't know the name of the card game. There's going to be 24 boosters, 6 cards per pack. This is what we call an anniversary pack. Guys, let me pull up the TCG player. I want you guys to understand the implications of an anniversary set. I'm sure most of you guys are well aware, and like, Jimmy, I don't need you to tell me the anniversary set is good, but there's also a lot of new players, especially coming in here to learn how to play. It's one of the things that we kind of excel at, honestly. Let's see. Wait a sets. We can go into just 2 blocks. Go into let's go high to low. Kind of want to give you like the overall perspective. Our last anniversary set here, Carry On His Will. This one, just a case of this thing sitting near $6,000. I want you to compare that to a case of that versus one. Oh, that's first box. That's one box, but you've got a case of extra booster. This one short printed, half the cards out there, and half the amount of stuff you can get. The cards in here are absolutely insane, but the hits sucked so bad in EB boxes. But because of short print, we got 6,000. And then you have the more recent sets up here that have just been released. Let's see, looking for like Wings of the Captain. I don't want to go over the PRB boxes because those are kind of an exception. But here's some of our newer sets that are in line with that. These things are sitting close to around $2,000, $3,000, right? And this is just the case, but I understand you can do the math. I want you guys to see what I'm talking about here. Certain anniversary sets, like this set, these things are always hot demand, and the cards that come in them are always absolutely huge hit winners. The mangas are always amazing. We've been hit up. Sermon, good to see you. Thanks for the explanation for joining. We've been told about the silver manga that's coming out with this one, similar to the silver manga and gold manga. We've had these anniversary sets before. There's a silver card, but we don't know what it looks like yet. So there will be this near $12,000 manga that comes in this anniversary set when it drops. Of course, there was the Gear 5th Monkey D. Luffy that came out in this one. That's still the highest priced manga in all the mangas that have ever been released. Of course, from this set and this case here, like if you look at the timeline, I really wish I could put the timeline of the way these sets released for you. You can see the way the market shifts and the elevation of where the anniversary sets always outperform every other set. Mostly because the cards in here are always insane. The rarity collections and the stuff you can get in them are absolutely nuts. And I mean, I'm kind of surprised that one blue bottom is mastering this one, but it's still climbing up there. A lot of these boxes and cases can't even compare to the overall quality and like this is a really older set. This one's when did this one come out? OP11. Must be something in this set that I'm misremembering. Because this is 13. This is just 2 years older than that. I'm a little surprised it's sitting market price right here. It just means what's available, I guess, because it is underneath the anniversary set. But I want to show you. I wish I could show you guys in an organized fashion here on some of those sheets that I usually look at that talk about it. But this is what I'm talking about. These mangas right here, absolutely insane value. $13,000 for PSA graded here. Is this one? Yeah, this one's graded as well. Only 2 on the market. Insane pricing. But good luck getting it. Like, it's impossible. These boxes are absolutely insanely valued. And this is what we're going into. We're going to get into the set. We're going to see a lot of new cards, new leaders, some amazing new treasure rare. Why is it showing all this random stuff here? Pre-orders here. Key One Piece set for 2026. Builds gameplay developers. So related topics. Yeah. I feel like they just pulled up a bunch of pictures from random stuff. It didn't have anything to relate with it. 4th anniversary booster. Let's see. Strongest Warriors coming. Let's get it to a good site. Come on now. I know there was a site I was looking at earlier here. World's Strongest Warriors is scheduled release in August, starting with this set. Where is a good article? Looking for one I can kind of like read to you guys here. Why wouldn't the official One Piece set be in here? Thank you so much, Xander. Appreciate it. going into the leaks and some information and wrap up here. I know that I've seen some of these out here. I'm really looking forward to it. My guess is that Loki is going to see potentially a leader card, but then again, I've seen the cards for it. We know the black leader has been released, so it would be really hard to see Loki as who is black, and we know that there's going to be all 6 colors monocolored coming from this one. So I would love to see Loki in this one, since we are in Elbath, be a leader. After looking at the kind of the developments of it, where we know that there's going to be 6 colors, they're all going to be monocolored, and we know that there's going to be 6 different leaders. 4 of the old 4, which I believe are going to be in red with Whitebeard. You're going to have blue with, let's see, who do we have for that one? Because it's the old Warlords of the Sea. So blue might be Kaido. I imagine purple would more likely be Kaido. But the Kaido fights with Linlin too, so Charlotte Linlin would be really weird. They're probably going to use the first 4 colors to make up the first 4 Yonkos, and then the last 2 are going to be Monkey Luffy, who's brand new to it, and of course maybe something with Whitebeard. I don't know. And you got Shanks, who might. Man, that's really difficult. Like, Shanks actually makes sense in green because there are some decent green cards. So green, you got. If those don't know, it goes red, green, blue, purple are your first 4 colors. For this. So I'm thinking like the first 4 are going to be the old 4 of the Yonkos, because we know that Whitebeard's been released, and of course Monkey Luffy's in black, and then all we have left is yellow at that point. So we're going to find out what cards here. These are the only 2 that have been spoiled. We do know the four Yonkos are going to be in the set here. I think this is actually a decent ability here for Edward Newgate, getting any card in your hand a plus 4K for the turn. Super strong. You don't have to take a life return. It is interesting seeing Newgate at a 5,000 power. And Monkey Luffy, we're still waiting to find out what all your characters at 12 or more game blocker. We still got to figure out what's making all the costs go up for these cards that are going to be making this like an insane ability. Let's see, what else have we had revealed here? These are the new card reveals. I think this is the right place here. We should be finding the articles here about the makeup of the set. All this information I've really been feeding you. Let's see. Right back to the same site. It is. All right, doesn't look like we're going to have much in that department here today. All right. Xander, thank you for the join over on the YouTube. Appreciate you. All right, that is going to do it for my Monday wrap-up in the news. I want to say again, congratulations to all the people who made it into the Flame Through tournament. Huge win. Seriously, do not take it for granted. Please get your hotels, get things registered and ready for it. This is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of you. I don't think you understand what a big deal this is. When I went to the first One Piece Day event ever, like for America, I was absolutely blown away by how awesome that event was, how really cool the trying to find Tony Chopper and going to all the different side events and looking at all the like little like side stories and the vendors hall and everything else that they had going on there. It was an experience upon experiences, and it was on a really crappy weekend. Even we're kind of rainy, but it was still an amazing experience to be able to meet so many different players, playing some amazing events, watch the growth of the televised stuff, where they were really doing a good job of getting with Eggman and doing these great streams of all the gameplay, showcasing all the great tournaments and having some really good coverage of the TCG and showing its growth. It's an amazing experience, hands down. And you're going to be a member of one of the few people that can qualify for some of the amazing cards that are only going to be released during this weekend. Everyone's going to be chasing the certain leader they're looking for. They're going to be chasing the promos that they're going to be handing out. There's going to be a lot of like crazy stuff that you can buy that are going to be limited to that. I got like EX boxes from the first time that they had the One Piece Day that's going up to $1,000 worth of value for a $25 investment with promo cards that you just can't get anywhere else. And we've gotten it, like a lot of these guys, the OGs with me that remember way back when they did the first Bondi experience, they had like these little sheets that they would give away all these little promo cards. Those Monkey Luffy's we got from that event where they were handing them out like crazy are going for $400 or $500 a piece. That's how limited these cards are and how limited it is for individuals to get the opportunity to see this. So you yourself are going to have that opportunity to go to this event, participate, meet some of the greatest players out there, not to mention some of the awesomest people that are just making this hobby so great, and playing a game and a hobby and an opportunity to fight for what is a once-in-a-lifetime experience of the one of one. I mean, I don't know who's going to win, and I'm already congratulating that person because it's going to be a monumentous point of their life, having tested, ran, practiced, and done everything they can to win that one-of-one card and be the sole owner of the Flame fruit from America. It's just, I can't fathom what that would be like. What would you do with that card? Would you sell it? Would you trade it? What would you do with that? I mean, there's so much money sitting there. It's got to be an experience of a lifetime. Domingo, good to see you again. Good to see you really into CrossFit. Xander says revealed leaders, but no information on the cards text. Green Shanks, Purple Kaido, and Yellow Charlotte Lin. Okay, so we do know it's a Green Shanks, Purple Kaido, Yellow Charlotte. That actually makes sense. So the only leader that we're missing then is Blue. Is it going to be Buggy? Are we bringing Buggy back? But I mean, if you have Shanks, Kaido, Lin, Whitebeard, is it going to be Buggy? Do you think they'll do? I'm kind of curious. Do you guys think they'll do Buggy or they'll do Whitebeard and Blue? I mean, Buggy and Blue makes sense, but I don't know. I mean, you got the 4 old warlords. You got Luffy, obviously, for the 5th and the newest one. Debigo says, I got second place in my first tournament using OP16 A's. Ha! Congratulations, Debigo. Honestly, guys, I'm really proud and happy of the people that didn't let OP Ace and all the nonsense that all the players were doing and talking about how bad that deck was, and it just was near up to tier with Yamato and Whitebeard and of course the goofy decks. Everyone was there, that green-blue Monkey Luffy deck. Everyone was hyping those things up and talking about, these are going to be the greatest decks of all time. These are going to be so good. The meta's going to be so extreme. And then everyone just slept on that Ace, and that Ace has been doing phenomenal. Been doing well for River, been doing well for a lot of players out there. So Debigo, congratulations. I'm proud of you. Good. Keep up the good work. And keep practicing out there. American Ninja Warriors, thank you for the exclamation point join. Good to see you in YouTube. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. Of course, if you haven't yet, hit an exclamation point join. We have 2 packs to give away. Reach in the middle of the box here. We've given out so many hits in this box already. I'm starting to get nervous. But we do have the best of the best hit hasn't been pulled from what I understand on ratios. So there's a good chance there's an SP in this box based on the current ratios that we've revealed so far. If there is an SP in this box, it's either this. It's either SP manga or nothing based on the ratios. We've got 2 alt arts and a secret rare already opened. That's it, guys. It's SP or manga or bust when it comes to this. Once I get the alt art Whitebeard you mail to me, I will add it. Please do, Debigo. You're going to love it. Now, I'm a day late. I'll send it tonight, Debigo. It's still here. Still here. Sorry, Debigo. It's coming. I was supposed to get it done yesterday, but we had a crazy day yesterday with all the stuff for the new tournament. I do apologize. I will get this out to you today. We'll get that in the mail to you, but thank you very much for remembering that. I don't forget you guys, and Debigo, don't worry. I know you're brand new to the channel. Everyone gets their pack, and they always get something really cool. Devs, of course. Nope, that was DK-ish that one. Good to see you. Thank you. Welcome back. Good to see you as always. Like I said, guys, we're going to take a break. We got 3 rounds of tournament play today. Some amazing OP16 decks and what's leading into the new format. Stay tuned. I got some favorite decks to talk about. I got some amazing gameplay, and I got to tell you, some of the players that came out of that stream room were just either whew or wow, that was a crazy good game. So stay tuned for that. 2 packs giveaway at the end of the stream. Exclamation point join. You can get twice of YouTube and on Twitch. And when I come back, some excellent gameplay. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're back for round one of this 3-round tournament where we're going to be covering down all the decks from OP16. Our winner, Xander the Dragon, who was able to get himself into the top spot, win the entire event for Season 7, and congratulated on his performance on Season 7. So congratulations, Xander. That's an amazing performance. Was able to get the most amount of points, the most amount of wins, and the man has been absolutely dominating in our local meta with, this may surprise you, blue-yellow Nami. He's going to be going up in round one against Mike, who was like, why did you put me up against this man? I'm not prepared for this man. He's the greatest player we have. And while that is absolutely true, he's one of our best players at at Lifelink games currently. He is not unbeatable. He can be playing up against things, and even Xander will tell you that he's definitely gone up against some matches where it feels unwinnable, and some of these things are just not going to go his way. Very humble dude, Xander the Dragon. Person's been doing absolutely fantastic. I've loved watching this person's growth here. Got into our community and has been absolutely just dominating, like looking at the meta, coming up with different deck lists that he could present to us and basically make this deck what it is today. If there's anybody I was going to ask about blue-yellow Nami and what the blue-yellow Nami good stuff is, this would be the person I would ask personally, because he dominates. He dominates with this deck. Every time he sits down, he takes his time. His moves are very methodic. He makes sure that most of the things that he does are not going to screw him in the long game. He's thinking 3-4 steps ahead, which in this game, you really do have to think 3-4 steps ahead. It is a very simple game, One Piece TCG. Let's be real, guys. It's a very, very simple TCG. You're not going to have too many of these. The game's mechanics are very simple. You got resources that perform every single turn. Most of the decks, you understand what you're trying to perform at each step. You get up to about the 10 Dawn turn, and that's really when we're getting to closeout games. And that's if you're not playing a deck that's trying to get underneath most decks to get to 10 Dawn. So if you're playing this game in the way Xander does, which is always trying to get to the 10 Dawn game, play that late game, you need to make sure that you're surviving long enough with heals, you're punching your opponent when you can, you're protecting your resources when you can, you're making sure that you have the right amount of counter for each turn, and you know exactly the most important part of One Piece TCG, when to go for lethal. I have seen many, many players, some of the best players out there, not see that they had lethal and not push for it and push in to end the game, and end up losing the game because of it, because they were playing too safe, trying to go board, trying to protect everything, and trying to make sure that they had the best chance of winning. But in the end game, especially with how much life gain there is out there, how many game changers and card games in the late game that can really change the math and turn things in other people's favor, you really need to make sure you know, are you watching what your opponent's discarding? Are you prepared for what they're about to throw at you? Is this my last turn? Do I have to go with it because it is my last turn? Those kind of decisions, these are the high-level decisions that you as a player need to know and master if you want to get to the next stage of competitive One Piece TCG. Now, if you want to play casually, that's fine with me. One of the best things about One Piece TCG and the stores that run these tournaments correctly, this is a very casual game and can be competitive. If you do it like Lifelink does on all of our events, we give away prizing to everybody, making it an even Steven. You're always getting in there and getting packs that are impossible to get, because we put packs aside to make sure we always have packs for prizing for everybody for all the events. So every time we have a One Piece event, we have packs to give away for people that participate. We always limit our stock to make sure that we can give away those amazing prizes. Entries $5. If you do really well, you get multiple packs, and if you don't do well, you still get a pack and even a promo pack for participating in the event with us, and that makes it all the better. So if you want to be a casual player and just play for fun, socialize with people, talk about your favorite animes, or One Piece, obviously, you can talk about those things and have fun casually, still get something out of attending, and maybe not at the top. But if you want to play competitively and you want to get to the top, you do have that with other people who, in my opinion, the way that we've built our community and just the luck that we've had with our community, we have very, very humble people who are very good losers and winners, who take the game seriously, but also take the game to be fun for everybody. Dabigo says, I'm definitely not there yet, but it's going to take some time to get into the mindset. Dabigo, it is that way for everybody. Everybody starts off somewhere. You're probably going to lose more than you win, especially in the beginning. What's good? What's hot? Who knows? There's a lot of different deck lists out there. Things change. The game rotates every 3 months. We got a new set coming out, new starter decks coming out. We got new things changing the meta. And once you start playing this game enough, I promise you, you're going to turn it away from just the Turn 1, I play a searcher. Turn 2, I play a 3 or 4 cost. Turn 4, I play a 5 or 6 cost, and then 6. You know what I mean? 7, 8, then 9 and 10. Right? You go beyond that. You look at what your deck's trying to do. You play outside of just, okay, I have to play the characters. There's so many nuances to this game that separate the casual players from the competitive players, and it's things that you can watch when you watch my live stream. I'll be talking about them as I see them and try to call them out when I see it. Where there's definite tempo moves, where there's some lack in counter from your opponent that's given kind of the hint that they're light on counter, which means you could possibly exploit that defensive strategy here. There's a lot of little things that people do when you can find out like the next level, kind of like the poker-ish thing. When people are taking life, how quick are they to take life? Why are they quick to take life? Things like that are subtle little hints that you as a player who has played this game long enough will take that information and say, ah, I know what's happening in this person's hand. Not only do I understand what that deck does, but I understand exactly what's happening right now that this person wouldn't be able to counter out in an early stage gameplay, if it meant anything. But I digress. We've got 2 deck lists. We got the top of the format right now, Blue Yellow Nami, going up against another contender that I think is very promising in this format, especially with the new cards that just came out. And we're going to go over those new cards for the Navy set. Don Quixote Rocinante, the law deck itself, the purple-yellow deck that is absolutely fun to play, something you want to watch out for, because I love you. And there's a lot of things that I really enjoy about this deck, and we'll go over those right now. Ryder, good to see you. Thank you for that. All right, starting off with Blue Yellow Nami. I'm pretty sure you guys have been around long enough to understand what this deck does. It's one of the decks where you got to make sure you have a Dawn attached to make sure you're getting the full volume and the full power of this. Basically, discard any card, make it 7,000 for the turn. This is a very, very powerful ability that most decks have been getting cards that have the on plays that give leaders that plus 2k for the turn after you pass the turn. These type of effects are becoming very, very common because that 7k leader is extremely difficult to start swinging into, and you don't get those free 5k swings anymore once you have this leader sitting in a nice little 7k power. On top of that, you have on your turn, this effect can be activated when a card is removed from your opponent's or your life points, and you have 7 less cards and you get to draw a card. So you got to be paying attention. A lot of people miss this trigger, but yes, during your turn, if you or your opponent remove a life points from or remove a card from your life, you are going to be drawing a card. Like that. Simple as that. Pay attention. You have, of course, this is a pseudo slop deck here, kind of like we got some other cards and some newer cards in here. Of course, we got the Marshall D. Teach in his deck here. We've got a lot of pieces for the thriller slop that we're seeing a lot in these decks. Of course, the most powerful trigger of here being Gecko Moria. You get to play 1 character that costs 4 less from your trash. Those characters being most devastating, the Ronar Zoro. You're getting something that can do some freezing. Now with a new powerhouse upgrade with Mr. 3 Galdino that has the ability to sack itself, draw 2 cards, and freeze any opponent's character's 9 costs or less. Getting back a blocker Marco that allows you to draw 2 is super strong. There's a lot of, this is probably the most fearsome trigger out of here, next to, of course, Marshall D. Teach trigger that has negate up to one of your opponent's characters during this turn, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters to 5k or less. So you can essentially turn off a rush ability against one of your opponents or something that's going to reduce the ability. There's a lot of really cool on attack abilities and other things that you can negate the effect with, and then KO in a 5k or less is actually pretty devastating. On top of its on play. The on play, you get to look at the top 3 and put any card in your life, which in a yellow deck is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Blocker Beard, of course, being a nice little end game here. This one enables a leader with the 2 attached on, can give anything that might be on the field 2 attached on, and it's a 12k blocker to boot with a draw 2 trash 1 on play. That's absolutely disgusting. It fits very well in this deck. I can see why people are doing this. They don't need the I Am Whitebeard. Obviously, it wouldn't do much good because some of that card is leader locked. But the Whitebeard itself, just a very strong, powerful blue card here. Borsellino, life gain in the right situations. The Nami that takes life and can replace itself with any of these other threats that allow you to gain some life, that release their 6,000 bodies. Of course, Kikinojo, a nice little one from life, because most people in the late game getting a 6k from life and a nice little body like this is pretty devastating. You, of course, have the Nico Robin that can help you take a life to trigger the ability for Nami and then gain 2 from that. So it's really a +1 on life gain for here. But of course, The most devastating part about that Nico Robin is the fact you can't really KO this thing. You can bottom deck it, you can bounce it, you can try to trash it if you possibly can get around that number, but if you KO this thing, it's going to deal 1 damage, and this can actually be game-ending damage. It's the only card in the game right now that can actually win the game on its damage effect, where the rest, it's usually just take a life. There's a reason why this deck is really good. It does have one of the best packages for yellow with this constant cycling of cards you can keep getting back and good resources, and this Perona Freeze still relevant to this day. Freezing probably one of the most strong things you can do in anything in One Piece to date, because it is the only thing that does not have a counter yet. There's been counter KO, there's been counter remove from the field effects. There has not yet been anything that says counter a freezing effect. Now, Xander the Dragon's going to be going up against Big Mike's Don Quixote Rosinante deck. This is a deck, really cool blast and pass from OP12. This thing absolutely can be quite powerful in the right sequencing of cards, and especially if you play the right cards in this deck. And there's some cards in this deck I really think are really strong in today's format. This one, once per turn, if your Trafalgar Law would be KO'd, you may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand instead. So basically a blocker instantaneously becomes a life hit if you want it to be. And in a deck that in yellow where you can gain life, that's actually quite strong. Not only are you getting to protect one of your critical law pieces and the top end of your law with this ability, but you're also making it so you're kind of using your life as a vital resource here. And of course, activate main once per turn, down -1. The next time you play Trafalgar Law cards with 4 or more, it's reduced by 2. So now we're playing some really good quality Trafalgar Laws here for a cost of 2 with this amazing ability. And we're going to go over them. First, we have the enabler that allows you to get back from the yard. You play this one because it's a 2K, and it's Trafalgar Law you can get back with certain abilities. We have this Trafalgar Law. That's a blocker, and most of the reason this is in Japanese is because the promo is the only thing that we have access to from one of the illustration boxes. But on play, if the number of Dawn cards on the field is equal or less than the number of Dawn cards in your opponent's field, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest it. So you got a nice little ramper here, and it's a 4K blocker. You have another blocker. This one, honestly, guys, should be in your deck. I think if you're playing purple, this should be like a purple good card here. On play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 or more cards, they have to trash 2 cards from their hand. You get to pick these cards. So you pick 2 random cards. That is a devastatingly psychological damage and emotional damage type of effect that you could possibly have on a card like this. You get now that we lost Pudding, there's not a whole lot of hand hate that's happening out here, and this one is one of the few good answers to hand hate that really puts your opponent into a certain situation. If you discard their only 2K counters, or maybe you discard the top half of their hand, and now they're having to resituate their entire turn just for this amazing on play that can be as little as 2, given this Rosinante's ability. Porcelino, obviously, because you like to gain life. We have this Rosinante and Law here. That's a blocker. This one is treated like Trafalgar Law for the sakes here, so it can be a 4 cost. On play, if your number of Dawn on the cards is equal or less than the number of Dawn in your opponent's field, draw 1 card, then add to 1 of Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. It's a nice little, again, ramp here. You got Trafalgar Law here on 7. On play, if the number of Dawn cards in the field is equal or less than the number of Dawn cards in the field, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Then all of your Don Quixote, Rosinante, Heart Pirates type characters gain plus 1,000 power during the end of your opponent's next end phase. So you're getting your leader up to a nice little plus 1K with this one, making it a little bit harder to swing into. Now, here's what I really like about what Big Mike's doing with this. Not only has it kind of changed the package into looking for Navy cards and playing this Kobe search that we just got from 16 and using that to, of course, find the Rosinante cards, but he's doing this because he really liked this Sakazuki here. On play, Dawn -1, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 6,000 power till end your opponent's next end phase. This is an insane ability that allows you to basically swing into anything and get rid of that threat on board. While it doesn't KO anything on itself here, it does do an amazing job of reducing some massive power from some kind of threat and giving you the capability of coming back from massive threats that are being dropped on the board. Of course, activate main, you can rest one of your Dawn cards. If your leader's Navy type, add up to 2 cards from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So really on curve, this is just a nice little go to 10. If you're playing this one on curve, you just go to 10. Super good card. Getting these 2 active. I mean, in the Navy deck itself, if you play this back-to-back with Garp and Sakazuki for the new, what is it, the Buddha King, what is it, Sengoku. If you're playing the new Sengoku deck, this is just a great way to get to 10 on, like, as early as, like, turn 4. Absolutely insane. ability to get there. Decibel, good to see you. Welcome back. But yes, this is one of the new powerhouse cards that's being tested out and tried right now, because I believe Big Mike is just really trying to see if this powerhouse card, the Sakazuki, is the game changer it needs. It needs something to answer some of the bigger threats. Of course, we have this Rush Trafalgar Law here. Activate main, you may trash one card from your hand. Trash this character, add up to one card from the top of your decks to your life cards, and then play up to one of your Trafalgar Laws with cost 7 or less from your hand. So, a nice little life gain. Trafalgar Law. This is really the only deck I've ever seen this one be played in here in the EBO3, mostly because it's Heart Pirates. It doesn't really fit in the Supernova packages, but a super good card with that in a nice little Rush package that can be reduced in cost with this leader. Of course, we have I Love You, which is just a powerhouse counter here for the plus 2k, and then if you have 2 or less life cards, Trafalgar Law on your you can add up to 1 Trafalgar Law from your trash to your hand, which is really nice, that combo to get that 2k here. With the I Love You, get this Trafalgar Law, and then get to a nice little 2k counter back if you need to. Of course, you got Divine Departure, the nice little 0 cost Mama Ragan, which is a card that kind of Don -2, draw a card, but the counter is what you're here for. Up to one of your leader type characters gains plus 1,000 during this turn. There's battle, and if you have 6 or less Don cards on your field, draw a card. So, due to there being a lot of like Don minusing in this deck for a lot of these effects, you can get to 6 pretty easily, and the counter is pretty nice. It's a 0 cost 1k that draws itself, kind of cycles through the deck. Of course, this probably being the most devastating slow beam. Don -1 up to one of your leader characters gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Then rest up to one of your opponent's characters. This card has always been a menace in Foxy, but it's really hard to play in a lot of decks because that 2 cost is kind of expensive. But in this deck, we don't have any top end tier stuff that's going to make us need to tap out. So we do have the opportunity to play something like Slow Beam, which is still a powerhouse counter card. Decibel says, bro, I realized so late that the Ace Luffy and Newgate promos were locked to the Flame Fruit event. Decibel, I did too. Very fitting to make a good red promo and lock it behind a whole event. Decibel, I'm going to go to us real quick because I want you to see this. Decibel, you and me both. This actually happened to a lot of people. Now, what I need from you, if you have the time, to do the same thing I did. I went to the Tixer event and said, hey, can I go get that bundle back? They said, yeah, go ahead, go through your wallet. You can get it. It didn't happen. It wasn't the case. So I went back to them again and said, hey, I went to the wallet. It wasn't there. Can I get it? They said, no, you can't get it. You have to go to the event coordinator. So then I went to the Contact Us on the One Piece website and asked them to please give us another chance to get that bundle. Now, if you did get into the event, you should have the opportunity to get that bundle there at the event and the vendors thing. That's if they don't actually open it up. Given how much One Piece and Bandai listen to their surveys and whatnot out there, there is a good chance that we're going to get another opportunity, and they may send us an email saying, hey, here's another chance to get that bundle. Because I explained it to them in a very long email that most of us were paranoid we wouldn't get into the event, and we didn't recognize what we were doing and trying to get to the checkout. And in that haste to make sure that we got the event ticket, we didn't get that bundle. So with that, if you did get into get your ticket from when it sounds like you did, Hazel, good to see you. It sounds like you got it. Just wait for the email if it does come out, or hit them up like I did. The more emails that people send out to them asking for another opportunity, the better likelihood that the people that did get in will get that with that. And of course, the people on the wait list will probably get that email as well, given they make it in from the wait list. Because the only way you can get that promo box is by attending the tournament. So if you got the ticket, hopefully they'll give us that opportunity. I will say that there's almost 100% guarantee that they will have it at the event, and it will be limited to 1 per person. The Decibel Stream says, no, I wasn't able to get into the event because it was, to be fair, I wasn't looking because I didn't know about the promo. Oh, all right, Decibel. Yeah. Decibel, that's a different story all in itself. When it comes to these Bandai events and the way that they do things, the One Piece Day, they had the EX box you could only get at the event for One Piece Day. I've been to Bandai Premium events where these national tournaments, they have these like promos they give away at the event. It's only at the event. Some of them going for $400, $500. That itself is just one of those things where if you want to chase those special prize cards, you really got to put in your calendar and put out the money to get those events. And it was something I was very aware of when I was trying to sign up for the Flame tournament. Now, luckily, 4 or 5 of us that really wanted to go did get in, so I'm super excited. And there are some people on the wait list that I'm praying get in. But yeah, they do that a lot. That's not just this one. When it comes to these events, they like to make them special, and by doing that, they give these limited edition promos for those events for those people. So it sucks. I'm sorry. I hate that it's like that, but in the name of the game, they've been doing it for the Bondi Premium for so long. Everything's behind a paywall. And Decibel, I promise you, everyone who doesn't care about those promos will be selling it afterwards, but you're going to have to pay scalper prices, which I'm not okay with. Sorry. I wish I would. I wish I could have got that information out to you guys. I didn't even really understand what the bundle was either. So I'm hoping to get another chance to get that bundle. All right, back to the game. All right, Xander and Big Mike going head to head here. Let's see if we can get to the part where these two start playing. Of course, die rolls are going to be kind of important for this one. Trafalgar Law really emphasizes wanting to go first, given it's Don minus here, and wants to have the most opportunity to make sure that it is lesser than. One of the reasons this deck hasn't been seeing a lot of play in today's format is because Enel has been really pushing this thing out. The fact that you need to be lower for most of this ability and most of the effects in this deck is extremely difficult to get a good out there, because as soon as you go up against Enel, it's pretty much an auto loss. And good on Big Mike for still trying. I like the deck against other decks in the format, but I don't like it against Enel decks. It's just too weak. Starting things off, looks like Xander's on the play here. Does he have a turn 1 play? Doesn't look like it. So he may just be passing the turn. And it should be going back to Big Mike here for 2. He's playing so low here. I gotta move this stuff so I can see it. All right. 2 Dawn turn here for Mike. See how he navigates his way through this one. See, if he starts with something, I'd like to see like a Navy headquarters, Marine forward, maybe a searcher with that new Kobe searcher he's playing with. There it is, Kobe. Starting off, 5 cards off the top. Look for a Navy card other than Kobe. Put it at the one in your hand and the rest of the bottom of your deck. Sakazuki, that new card, already seeing some play here. Now, one of the things I really wish I would have talked to Mike about was how he felt playing this, given that Rosinante playing with these searchers, he's kind of turned himself off from looking for key law cards. But I guess he's just all in it. And Xander in with a big 8K swing in here, already getting his opponent down to 3, which means his Kikonojos in deck are now live. But an easy take for Mike here. No reason to give up 2 cards this early in the game. But Xander really saying I don't have any early game starts here. And looking pretty brick heavy too. We'll see if Mike sees that weakness here. Good turn here. Might be a nice little 5-6 into play here. But Xander's probably going to be using this leader ability right off the gate, given how many bricks this deck is running right now. One of the keys to this Nami deck, I see a lot of people playing against it. They don't see... you really should be checking to see the vulnerability of this deck. They lean pretty heavy on being 7K for the turn here, but big swing here for Mike. No 4 cost apparently, but we're going to go in 9K in a swing. And only this Nami deck would I actually recommend this over a 5 and 5. But it looks like we are going to discard 1 for the plus 2K. Interesting play here. Still took a life. I guess just getting the hog back ready just in case for the triggers here. So kind of a nice little heads up play here for Xander. Getting a trigger so he has something to grab from the yard. Given he gave up the 1 card for the 2K but still took the life, which is absolutely a legal maneuver. 5 Dawn here. Let's see if we got a Nami to start things off for taking some extra life. We do. Nami taking it down to 2 already. So Mike already down to 2 life here. Using the ability to attach that rested Dawn to Nami. So we are going to see a 6K, but I likely believe Mike's going to have an easy 2K counter out of this one. Of course, Xander remembering to draw effect because he did take a life from the Nami swing here. And we got 2K from the X-Drake. That should be it for Xander. Back to Mike at 6 Dawn here. See if we get out some of those blocker. I think an absolute devastating card would be that hand hate blocker Trafalgar Law here. But as I was talking before, it's like he's playing this Navy package of Navy Searchers times 8 even. Here's another Kobe in this deck. But one of the things Kobe can't find is his law cards. Where I see the value getting the Borsalinos here, getting some of the Rosinantes here from his deck, which are great targets. This deck really plays heavily around the law cards to be efficient here. So it's an interesting take here from Mike to be playing a mostly Navy package, based on Searchers anyways, for this. Xander says, I usually pitch a 4-cost Thriller Bark, even if I take the hit, because if you have 16 out of 50 trigger chance to play it back out, usually works in my favor. Sadly, not this time. Yeah, great call for that. Appreciate that, Xander. Thanks for the feedback. But yes, that is exactly what we saw here. Getting something ready, so even if he does take the trigger, there will be at least some answer in the yard to get the engine for the Thriller Bark cycle underway here. All right, Mike, up to 8 Dawn here. Well, it looks like anyways. 6 Dawn, excuse me, 7 Dawn here. Rosinante and Law here. And coming in for a big swing, 7K into life. It looks like we're going to be tapping this one soon here. This one will get at least 2 cards out of Xander's hand if he doesn't take the life here. A lot of bricks in hand that we saw. I think the thing that surprised me the most is, given we knew a lot of cards in Xander's hand, the fact he had all those bricks, he decided to put the Thriller Slop, or the Dr. Hogback in there, was an odd choice because it was counter, but at the same time, a very good heads-up move to make sure that he has some target to get the trigger engine for the Thriller Bark package ready and roaring. Something I think you guys at home should be looking into. And as Xander said it, sometimes it just pays off. You discard the card, and you take the life, and then instantaneously you can play the card. Looks like from that, we're going to get a discard from one of those bricks, being the 10-cost Newgate. And we'll see if we get a 1 after that. Do need to go one more up. Here we go. The new Borsalino. I'm sorry, Mr. 3. Galdino. Not Borsalino, Galdino. Very good card. I think this card is absolutely insane. If you're not playing this in your blue deck, I think you're wrong, personally. I think this should be an auto include for most blue decks, like Pudding used to be back in the day. Hard to counter freeze cards, guys. It's really hard to counter that. I don't think there's anything in the game that overcomes it. Outside of maybe like a on-play stuff from Teach, from Black Teach, obviously. You can stop the on-play freezes, but not a lot you can do against the Mr. 3 that sacks itself to give it. All right, 7K swing coming back at Mike. See if we get a free block from that Rosinante and Law here. Would be an opportune time. Yep, get the free block out of there. There we go. Now, spending another 7K swing here from Xander, leaving 4 up. Looking like we might have ourselves Ronor Zoro, maybe even a freeze card for the Perona. But here's a 2K and a 1K. Ooh, one of the hand hate cards too. That would have been a really good play earlier. But nope, going for the Marco blocker for the draw engine. Love it. All right, 4 cost here. Now, I'm sorry, up to 8 Dawn here for Mike. Let's see if we can get some cheating out some law cards. One of the things we haven't seen too much from Mike here is some cheating out any of these law cards. But obviously he is at a higher Dawn count. So we need to see some more Dawn minusing abilities here out of Mike's cards here. We'll see where he takes this. Looking like he's tapping 7 of the 8 here. Might be our first Sakazuki here. There it is. Sakazuki hitting -6. Could he be calling Xander's bluff to yep, it looks like he is going to call Xander's bluff here. It's 2K going into it. Let's see if Xander has a replacement. Usually pretty dangerous, but it is a good card to hit because I do have to pitch a card to play a card for free here. The sad part is this is an opportunity for Xander to get out a nice little 6K body, which could be a life gainer, which is often the case. But at the same time, it's good to get off the board, in my personal opinion. Get these things off. You got to fight through it. This is yellow. You guys got to remember that they're always going to have it. They're always going to have this issue. If you ignore the problems, you're playing into their game, and sometimes you just got to make them have it. So we'll see if Xander has a 6K to replace. It's looking like. The way Xander's moving, it looks like we do have a replacement. Gonna reveal up. Yep. So Perona the reveal here. Something Mike can play around now. What 6K body we're playing? Borsellino. All right, and Borsellino's not going to be able to activate. Too much life here for the Borsellino here. So good on Mike being able to draw out that Borsellino before he can get some extra value. But Xander is going to be given another blocker in the situation, which is not too bad. I like Mike's situation. I don't remember there being some anti-blocker in the Rosinante deck, but if this was any other deck, having some anti-blocker stuff would definitely pay off in the long run. Looks like Mike using that last Dawn to tap and gain 2 active Dawn here. So it looks like we'll have potential for a nice little 8 and a 7 swing. See how Mike wants to throw this one up. Might even just do some massive big swing here. Load up everything on Rosinante Law here. But does have the opportunity to keep it back as a blocker. Given that Xander can take life directly, it might be more beneficial here for Mike to have some kind of answer for this Law. Now, if I'm going to leave these 2 up for defense, I imagine if I'm Mike, I'm probably just going to pass the turn. No offense, and just running into a free block. It's an easy call for Xander here. Only reason I would do it is just to test how much they're paying attention. See if I can get a card on a hand. If they go for the free block, sure. But yeah, Mike, just like me, respects Xander in this one. I don't think he's going to make that mistake. I'm just going to pass the turn. No sense just running into a free block from either of these blockers from Xander. And now 9 Dawn turn here for Xander. A lot of great top end here. Could get himself into a teach. Could get himself into something else. He's got to love the fact he knows his trigger from Perona's coming. So he's got already that engine going to get started here with Hogback getting the Perona back and just all kinds of nonsense. But already that the Thriller engine is running hot for Xander here at 9 Dawn. It's something you don't see too often. I love this. Xander's got all these different Dawn cards here from all the history of a lot of these double pack cards and the fruit packs and some of these other, like they're all over the place. I love that he's just using the variety of all these amazing Dawn throughout the years as his Dawn package. Most people like to try to like bling it out all in the same one. And here we got Xander who's like, nah, I like one of each. One of each works for me. Mike, reading the trigger, good call. Want to make sure what you're running into. Xander stacking it up in piles of 5 and 4. Look like we might have another Nami play here. A lot of 5s and 4s in here. Could get a Perona. And I have a lot to freeze here. Nope, going 8 here. Sorry, 6, 7. Jeez. Nico Robbins going to take that. Gain 2. So Xander's like, I don't need to throw this up right now. Oh, good card in hand here. Gecko Moria is definitely going to be able to get that one going soon here, too. And Mr. 3 Galdino to hand. Good turn here for Xander. Very strong case here. We're going to go in for 6. Maybe 7. Debating about it here. Nope, just going to add because he realizes respecting Mike as Mike respected him. Free block was going to be the case and passes back. Good to see you, girl. I do love the respect from both these players. They're like, yeah, I know you got a free block, so I'm not going to waste the time. I do this quite often when I'm outside playing at my locals on Tuesdays, where if I see that I can just free block, I respect it. I'm like, yeah, you're just going to free block. We'll just move on. Now, I will say to those competitive players, definitely do swing when you're at major events and tournaments. Some people do get distracted by the fact that there's so much noise, so much activity going around, get a little bit sidetracked and forget their blockers are out. And there are a lot of people that miss that. And I've seen a lot of people just give up some free swings and some free counter on a nice little free block that they could have had if they would have read the table correctly. Who's that? Who's that? So definitely respect that these two respect each other, but also want to let you guys know if you are playing competitively, definitely swing. Do it anyways. You never know what your opponent's where your opponent's mindset is at, and you can get some free points and free damage here sometimes. If anything, you're getting some cards out of hand. Here comes our first swing. 8K coming into life here. Are we going to get our first block? Imagine if it is going to be anything, Marco will be the cost just to get 2 cards in the hand here. Or we could see some counter from hand here. It looks like we're going to get a nice little free counter. Go 7K for life here. Definitely puts the pressure on Mike to learn to know how he's going to navigate the rest of these swings here. But still going to need another 2K from hand for Xander. And we got it with the Kazuki Ori. So perfectly countered out. All 10 Dawn available to Mike here. Rosinante Law. Could swing if we want to get a nice little free upper blocker. Of course, we do have the leader swing left. And Mike with a really top-heavy hand here. Borsellino going for the life gain. Okay. Decent play here for Mike here. Gets a nice little blocker. Gets a nice little life gain going. 5 more Dawn left here. Could load up for a 10K leader swing here or get another character. Still definitely have a leader swing left. And need to start punching through these blockers if we're going to get through it all. Here comes a nice little swing. Looks like we're going 7. Good number here for Mike. Obviously, attacking anything less would just be nothing. But Xander going to have to give up a 1K or take a trigger. Get out the 1K with the Galdino. If those at home don't know what he's doing, Xander likes to set up his stacks, which makes sense because you can do this in the game of One Piece. You can set them up for like areas of like, this is where my trigger recovery pile is. This is the cards I want to get back if I get this trigger. Here's my Thriller Bark stuff, and here's the cards I don't care about. So one of the things that Xander loves to do is like separate these things to speed up the process of grabbing what card for what. Oh, big card here, Gravity Blade. 2 for 1. Mike can't protect it. There goes 2 of the blockers. And now Xander in a commanding driving seat here. Just showcasing how powerful that card is. I love that we went through an entire era where removal seemed to be not the answer. But now we're seeing with all these people getting so confident with people not playing the counter removal cards because no one was playing removal because of the counter removal cards. Now we're back in the area where removal is good again. So, and not to mention, really perfect card for Nami is it's an easy pitch outlet if the opponent does have anti-removal. All right, big swing here, leaving 1 open for the leader. Smart move here, coming in 9. Nope, taking it back here. Going 8 here. All right, going 8. On the swing. Or is this a 9, I believe? Yeah. All right, easy take here from Mike. And, of course, a draw card for Xander. I love how consistently he's played this thing. He knows exactly like what's going on to get that draw on. I've seen so many people miss the draw for these Nami decks. Now, Mike definitely going to get in for at least a 6K, if not 7K swing. Here comes 7. Looking for 2 cards out of Mike's hand. We'll see if we got. Do have some Mamoragans, but we don't have enough Dawn. We haven't. Our Dawn is not light. So we're really not going to get that extra ability here. Slow Beam kind of, I guess. Well, I mean, it will rest one of the blockers. So not a bad parlay here. Nice little counter here for the Slow Beam. And a pass back. So now Mike has a way to get rid of this Marco blocker if he wants to give up the draw. Definitely doesn't want to swing into the Nico Robin. Google Nuts, good to see you. Thank you for the exclamation point join. Welcome back. But here we got 10 Dawn turn here for Mike. See if he's got another big play here. Maybe see another big Sakazuki or something. But all defenses down here for Mike. Not in the greatest of positions. Going to be in the tank here. 4 cards. Doing a good job eliminating the cards that Xander can play here. But that Gecko Moria definitely threatening a nice powerful turn in the top end here. Sakazuki the play. Excellent play here. Means we could definitely get this Marco down to 0. Nope, going for the Nico Robin. Interesting play here. Now this will reduce it down to a fightable chance here for these Kobe's. So I do like this, but Mike does know he is going to take a damage for the swing. Love that emote. So a bit dangerous here. Got the Marine Ford. Nice little top 5 searcher. Getting Borsalino. Another life gain, so at least now he can get the life back that he's probably going to take if he decides to swing into this Nico Robin. We'll see if he does. Use the rain for a rest here. Get some active Dawn. Wonder if Mike really double thought about those Mamaragans. An interesting card. Looks like he's going to activate the leader ability, or the Sakazuki ability to tap an active to, or tap a Dawn to get 2 active. 3 Dawn. Could get a massive 8k swing from life here. Kobe can threaten this Nico Robin. And Xander, of course, probably not too familiar with this Sakazuki card, as it is a brand new card to the format here. Anybody's actually played with Sengoku, feel pretty strong with it? I really feel like that's just like you got to be the luckiest person in the world to win with Sengoku. Like, you get the combo off, it's very devastating. You're probably going to win if you get the combo off, but how often can you get the combo off? It's just, you got to get all 3 Admirals in hand. Most of them are bricks. Got to stay alive long enough. I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to risk it. Lucky is just an on play. Luckily, it's just an on play. Yes, agreed, Xander. Luckily, that is just an on play. Not once per turn you can reduce by 6. Looks like we do have I Love You from the search here. I was worried he'd get multiple -6k. I would be too, Xander. If Sakazuki get every single turn reduced by 6, that'd be absolutely busted. Hey, Nevaskar, thank you for the follow. Don't forget to hit exclamation point join for your chance to win one of the packs at the end of the stream. But thank you, Nevaskar. Appreciate the follow. All right, first Sakazuki swing here. Looks like Xander's going to be giving up the pitch. Oh, getting rid of. Okay. Getting rid of the Gekko Moria here for the 2K. And then, of course, a nice little Zeus to counter out of that swing. Are we going to see some mini swings into this Nico Robin, though? That is the question. And we're reduced it down here. But if Mike does, he's got to be careful, because that could be the blood in the water Xander's looking for to come out and start swinging with those blockers. Looks like we're going to do another Don minus to draw. Discarding Mamaragan. And Mike looking like he is going to pass on taking a life there. Is that the whole turn? Hold on. I missed that? Is that the whole turn? This is until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Oh, okay. It's pretty devastating. I thought it was just 6k for that turn. That's pretty good. 6k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this Nico Robin likely not going to get some swings in. Good call here from Mike. Can't swing into it. Better yet, make sure it can't swing into you. All right, Perone in hand here for Xander. Nothing really to freeze. See if we get some decent swings here. Massive swing here coming in for what looks like 8 into life here. 2K is going to be required here. I Love You. Doing the counter. Grabbing a law. So we got 2K. Get the 2K law. Get a counter both. There you go. And that's how you do it. It's a 4K with steps, but it's a 4K nonetheless. Xander says, I almost always pitch the Whitebeard and Moria in this matchup since the Sakazukis can minus 6,000 and then Mamaragan can rest them and he's a free kill. That's fair. That's very fair. That actually makes a lot of sense, Xander. I appreciate that input. That's great. 10 Dawn here. Or sorry, 7, the remainder of the from the last swing here. Pitch 1 life, gets 2. And now Xander at 5 life against 2. And Mike cannot feel very good about this. 2 blockers still ready. Has to worry about 2 of these AK Nico Robins coming next turn. And Mike is really, really going to be hard-pressed to get some kind of offense going. 2 Sakazuki AK bodies, going to be answered by a blocker if it's even a threat at all. And tons of triggers that Xander has just stacked up, ready to go to elongate this game. Xander says, I like to span Robin instead. I don't blame you. Robin's a great one. This is a great effect. Get to heal 2, or get it a +1 anyways. On there, feed your yard, which is sometimes really good with Nami, because of course you can get that draw if your hand size is right. And already putting the leader at a 5 life, which is absolutely devastating here. But looks like 6K the swing, gonna get a pitch, okay. For the 2K. Don minus. Here for Mike, what are we playing? Tapping some Dawn here. What do we got? Another Sakazuki? Oh, no. Borsalino the play here. All right. Borsalino we picked up earlier here. Now getting some play. Going to do the Dawn minus draw card for the Marine Ford. Draw discard, of course. It's a nice little filter. Going to get rid of another 2K Trafalgar Law. Makes sense. The I Love You combo is online for the nice little 4K, of course. See, we do have approximately 4 Dawn left here for Mike. And Mike just not feeling very comfortable about this. Does have some Sakazuki swings that can come in here, but Xander with a healthy 5 life. Not looking too intimidated. Not to mention already a 7. Just simple 2K counter out of these swings. And of course, one of his blockers is going to give Xander a +2. Looks like Mike's going to activate the rest of Dawn to get 2 active back. Replacing the Kobe with the other blocker Law here. Now that's the promo one we talked about earlier. Good Law for the deck. Nice little blocker. So Mike try to put up some kind of defense here. But here comes Sakazuki swing 1. Do we get a block? Do we get a trigger? We do get a block for the draw 2. Xander looking for some next turn plays. I like that. Basically looking for the draw just to have something to play next turn. Mike is truly the one on back foot here. And another 8K. Do we see a trigger? Likely here. Yep, 2K from life. Nice. Got the Zeus. Was probably hoping to get something from the Thriller Bark package here, but not a big deal. Still 4 life. Basically, the starting health and perfect health here. And I'm not going to see much else here from Mike here. Double block, going to be the turn. Forcing it back. Mike's resources getting very, very thin as we get towards the end of the game here. 10 Dawn turn still for Xander. Just the way he likes it. Getting in the late game. Very powerful for this blue-yellow Nami deck. The longer the games go, usually in blue-yellow Nami's favor. And another Nami off the top. Could see our 3rd Nami of the game here. Or at least the 2nd plate anyways here. And taking that life that was just gained by this Borsalino. We'll see what Xander wants to do with his turn. Nice little healthy 5-card hand here. A lot of low-cost cards here. Could just do another Nico Robin. First, all right, coming in with a 9. Do we get a block? Is Mike going to try his own triggers? Here's the take. No trigger, looks like. Quick draw from Xander. Get the 10 here, K blocker beard. Here comes another 9. Block from Borsalino. Here comes 6. Looking for a 2 or a block. Blocking 1. A lot of options here for Mike. Gonna go with I Love You. Simple 2K and gets this one back that he doesn't have to discard. And still 7 left. Tapping it for another Nico Robin. Yes, we are. Here we go. Nico Robin number 3 hits the field. Takes a life. What would have been his 4th and the alt art Nico Robin now goes to trash for a 5 life. right back as if Mike did absolutely nothing for that turn. I'm telling you, if it's not the deck doing well, the psychological damage that you have to be if you're Mike, look at this stuff going, oh my gosh, I can't even get ahead. Every time I get any kind of points of damage in here, they're just being recovered. And now I just have all these bodies that I just absolutely cannot swing into. Sakazuki number 3. Speaking of threes here, Sakazuki didn't do another -6. Best option maybe to get another the Nico Robin for a full turn. Maybe could go for the blocker, I guess. Really not much of value gained here. Yeah, looking like we're just going to try and turn off an attack from Nico Robin for next turn. Xander said we both laughed when I trashed my 4th Robin. Otherwise, I would have played it later. I'm willing to bet you would have, Xander. I bet you what you would have. Having 4 Nico Robins on the field, I mean, take a picture of that and send it to your friend saying, how would you feel about this board state? That's intense. That's intense. All right, Mike turned off the attack for one of these Nico Robins at least. 2 Sakazuki attacks here, 3 on board, still 1 blocker, 5 life to fight through. If I'm Mike, I am not having a good day. This is just not feeling good. Feel like I've been playing for 40 minutes and I haven't done a single thing except for allow my opponent to gain life. The psychological damage is being done right now. It's just absolutely intense. And you can tell just from the emoticons from Mike's hands here, he doesn't feel like he's in a very good winning position here. Don -2. Gonna get some... Oh. Gum Lightning. Answering the blocker here. Good answer there at least. At least gonna get some kind of damage here. But Xander... ready and raring for any of these triggers to start making his board even more aggressive. All right, going with a simple 5. Good call. Doesn't have the Dawn to invest in here, so when Xander gives it up, makes it a 7K. He's not losing the attack, so good order here from Mike. Could get a 2K here from Xander, or could take a life. We'll see what he does. Goes for the take. Do we get a trigger? It's looking like a hogback. It is hogback. Looks like we can get back another hogback, which should be able to get the Perona back from the yard. That's on KO, of course. But another nice swinging body here for Xander. Yeah, and Mike just being generous to say, hey, if you KO this thing, I'm just going to get this Perona back, so you're going to deal with this body. And of course, the sequencing here, really good here for Xander. Recognizing you go for the hogback first. You don't go for the freeze card, because the freeze card's not going to do much. But given he knows that Mike only has 1 more swing left this turn, well, just pretend the one in the end was the newest one here. All right, 2K counter from hand here. This should be the end of the turn here for Mike. Does have the opportunity to tap and add some Dawn back, though, because all these Sakazukis do have that ability. So it looks like that is what Mike's going to be doing here. Grabbing 2 Dawn here. Tapping 2. Replacing Kobe with another Trafalgar Law. Okay. Using your ability to get another blocker out. Like it. 1 actor Dawn. Pass back to Xander. One of these Nico Robins can attack. Well, probably could, but it's going to take a lot of investment. 2 life is Mike. 2 blockers. Xander at the perfect 10 Dawn. This is the kind of game he likes to play. Absolute control. 4 life. Nico Robins for days. Good swing for the hogback. Has leader ability. And now off the top can also go into the blocker beard to add some massive swings here. Could easily establish the board. Get out the blocker beard. Get 7K from lead. 7K for hogback. And some massive swings to the 2 Nico Robins. A good turn. Good defensive play here from Xander. And still sit very, very pretty at 4 life. And not have to worry too much about Mike's offense next turn. That is a option. Do have other options as well. We'll see what direction he wants to take this. Test the waters of the Nico Robin swings. Here we go. Swinging first, Nico Robin for 1. Does Mike defend? Use the blocker, no counter. Good count. That is a good signal here for Xander, meaning he probably doesn't have much counter in hand. Another block, no counter, meaning definitely light in hand his Mike. So setting up for the next turn. Love this. Draw 2, discard 1, add 2, probably the hogback and to the Nami. Means he's going to be easy swings coming into life here, given we know that Mike was not able to defend these blockers. Vaucus, good. Welcome back. What's been good? We've been playing some card games. That's what's been good, brother. Good to see you. 7K swing here with the 2 for the rest ability from Edward Newgate. We got 2 swings. Of course, swinging character first. Smart by Xander. Guys, sequencing matters. Swing with the characters. Characters can be affected more than leaders when it comes to swings. So even out of practice, even if they don't have the counter in life, always good practice to start with the character swings first. Instant take from Mike. And a draw for Xander. Here comes another 7. Did Mike get the counter to counter out of this one? Are we going to see another I love you? 2K, 2K. Or 2K, 1K, sorry. But Xander looking extremely healthy for life. 3 Nico Robins. Full on board. Next swing is likely going to be Mike's last. Mike has to figure out some way to punch in for lethal, but with only 4 attacks and 4 life, not looking good for Mike here. He does have 1 rusher in deck with the with the Trafalgar Law, but it looks like the 2 stacks is not going to be the case where because that one is an 8 cost. It does not look like Mike does have the rusher to get that 5th swing. Any way you look at it, Mike really put on the back foot. I can't see a way out. We have a free block from the blocker beard. Here comes 5. Likely going to get a card from hand to put Nami back up to 7. Yep, that's the card. Nami's at 7. Only needs 2 Ks from all 3 of these Sakazukis. All right, Mike's saying I need a 2 and a 1. Here comes 9. Xander does have a free block if he wants to go that route. Some discussion happened on the board here. Xander on the take. Do we have a trigger? It's likely we do. Oh, the best of best triggers. Gecko Moria going to get a 4 cost from the trash. Any active, and he goes for a blocker. Marco getting some extra draw engine here. That has got to be the nail in the coffin from Mike. There we go. Xander with the blocker and the draw too. Don Minus probably cycling through this Marine Ford play here. Gonna go for a blocker law. Gets the draw on. But Mike absolutely has to feel devastated here. There's not enough blockers in the world to fight through these 3 Nico Robins and an Edward Newgate. Pitching the card for this. What do we have? Enough for maybe another blocker here from Mike. We'll see what he plays. Borsalino, a life gain. Trying to establish some kind of board state here. Sakazuki still free to swing here. And a swing from Sakazuki here. Or not. Just trying to protect it, I guess. 2 blockers from Mike. 2 life. And 10 full dawn. Xander can push for game here. Mike already demonstrated he's low on life. Oh, 2 Edward Newgates. I'm sorry, 2 Marshall D. Teaches in hand for Xander, so we could easily stack up our life if we want to play an even longer game. But I imagine this should be the end turn. Board state looking very strong for Xander. We already know Mike is low on counter. Here comes our first swing. Do we get a free block or do we get the Borsalino block? Borsalino block with no counter. Here comes another swing. Gets the free block. Sorry, not free block. I thought it was an 8K. Another swing here. I love you to play. Okay. Okay. Mike survived for 1 more turn. Means Xander can easily now go for the teach play here. 7 to life. Poke can easily keep the new gate open, which I recommend he do. Of course, going to draw a card because he has enough from the life gain here. And likely going to see a teach. Tap an 8. Here it is. Look at the top 3, adds any card he wants to the top of his life cards. And again, Mike looking like he's done absolutely nothing to Xander this entire game. The psychological damage that Mike must be experiencing right now is absolutely insane. Draw from Mike. 3 cards in hand. 3 Sakazukis. 4 life. A blocker beard. And a fat hand from Xander, who's been able to make this late game just like a toy factory for himself here. Mike, out of options. Looking to see whatever he can draw here. Draw a discard with the Marine 4. Gets rid of the hand hate for blocker law. Again, that card could have been put in so much work for you, Mike. But then again, Xander has been doing a pretty good job of keeping his hand low. Kobe the play. I think this is the only turn I've seen Xander with a healthy 7 hand. So you got to give credit where credit's due. Xander's been doing a great job of making sure that his hand's been low enough that blocker Trafalgar Law can't get the hand hate. Xander says, Whitebeard is good now since he already has used 3 Sakazukis. Yeah, absolutely. Whitebeard is a very safe play. Getting another one at this point really isn't going to mean much. Mike looking for any answer he possibly can. Kobe likely to play to look for even more answers if he has them. Using Sakazuki's ability to get those 2 rested Dawn back. Or those returned Dawn back. I can't imagine there's too many options here for Mike. Looking for an attack. Going into Nico Robin. 2K. Was that an attack at Nico Robin? I feel like Mike's just saying I want to go on my own terms. Big swing here. Was he swinging at Nico Robin? I feel like he's trying to say I'm going to go out on my own terms here. Falcon said I would feel bad for Mike, but I'm the worst yellow slop than blue yellow Nami, so I'd have to feel bad for every opponent. That's fair. That's absolutely fair, Falcus. Yeah, I feel like Mike says I'm going out on my own terms. This is it. Mike just says, that's it. I'm going out. Like, if I'm going down on my own. And Xander just not letting it happen. Mike, load up the Sakazuki. Load it up. When you know you're beat, you're beat. This is probably the best way to go. 8. And defended from Xander. Xander not letting it happen. All we got to do for here for Xander, load up any of these. We can load up Teach, load up Newgate, any of the 10 Dawn. No blockers here from Mike. Let's just go for game. Plenty of counter in hand here from Mike, but I don't know why we're playing this out. Slow beam. Okay, I guess he can rest the Newgate. Mike, throw the 10 Dawn underneath any of these characters. You win. AK, cover to life. You're playing with your food, my man. You're playing with your food. Sanders in the chat said he wanted to go out on his own terms, and Sanders said, not on my watch. Not on my watch. And for those at home, important context you guys have, both these opponents were having a good time with this. They were laughing at the table. So don't feel like Xander was actually bullying him. It was actually kind of a fun experience. And you can see that Mike was like, I'm going to go to my own terms. And Xander's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. All right, that's going to do it for round 1 of this tournament. I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to get the board set up. I'm going to get the new names added to the wheel. And in a short break, I'll be back with round 2, where we have an excellent match with Black Yamato versus Blue Yellow Boa. Bet you thought I was going to say Nami. Nah. Boa, the lesser of the 2 Blue Yellows, but still a good Blue Yellow. And with some new stuff from OP16 that we'll talk about when we get back. Until then, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Humber Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're back for round 2 of this store tournament and the season ending for season 7. Congratulating Xander, Porter, and all the rest of the contenders who had made it into the tournament. Congratulations to all of you guys for doing so well, performing, coming out to all those events, getting those points from all the wins, and doing well to become our number 1 and number 2, along with everybody else getting their prize support on this Saturday. We had a bunch of free food, some great prizing, some awesome stuff that Lifelink always does with these amazing seasons, and I'm super excited to announce to you guys we have some even better events coming your way. As the season goes through, we're going to have ourselves a leader locked event or some kind of color cup coming up. This is our 4-week kind of off period before we start season 8. When season 8 starts, we are going to be changing the way things work. We are going to be doing another top cut for our event, but how we're going to be playing this one's a little bit different than what we've done before. I'm going to get the rules finalized for the rest of you all, but we are finally figuring out a way in which to get all of our participants to actually play in these events. One of the things that we've had the biggest difficulty for these tournaments is when we get to the final championship, so many people, much like our prize day of the celebration with everybody, would have to call out, couldn't show up, or couldn't be there for the actual championship. In order to work our way around that, we've decided to set up where opponents who knew they were matched up against each other can now schedule times to play at Lifelink games and get their matches in throughout the week to get that match done and get that game over. So if they can't show up during the championship, we will have a process in which to get these players to play and perform to crown a true winner with another 16-man cup challenge that will be given at the end of season 8. I'm super looking forward to that. It's a great opportunity for you to play competitive and casual. Great packs that are always given away when you come out to these events because we do save our packs for it. $5 entry for each one of these events. And at the end of the season, if you make top 16, you can play yourself for a mat, some amazing prize support, awesome boxes, and amazing cards, just galore that we do for our big prizing for our season winner. So huge shout out to our seventh season win, Xander, who's in the chat, or it might still be anyways. Congratulations to you. Right now, we have a different match. Cam, who's bringing the lesser of the two blue-yellows with blue-yellow Boa versus, first time on camera, Sea-Dog on Black Yamato. Starting off, we have Boa Hancock. Now, is this deck good? Yes. Is it lesser than Nami? Sadly, yes. It does have a lot of similarities, and we're going to go through it, but it has its own cards that are really neat with the way this deck works. On opponent's turn, when you play a character, draw a card. On opponent's turn, play a character. So what does that mean? We're playing a lot of triggers, and we're going to go over them that play from life to play characters out, which in yellow has always been like that secondary, really good power-up move that you can do with Boa Hancock here is have these characters, or like in yellow anyways, have these characters on your opponent's turn and now have these free swings coming at the next turn. And some of them pretty devastating, but most of them are going to be 5k and 6k bodies, which is another reason it's kind of leading into the lesser of the two decks. Given you're only getting 5 and 6k bodies when Nami can push itself up to 7k for the entire turn, isn't the greatest of abilities when it comes to these two different blue-yellow decks. Now, we also have Dawn ×1. Once per turn, when your opponent has Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirate type cards with 5,000 power or more is KO'd up to one of your opponents, you could basically take the top card of their life, which is really good. This is good. You have a great defensive play here for this Boa, meaning every single one's a Nico Robin, except you're taking the damage. You're not being dealt damage, so there's no game-ending win here at the swing, but there's still some deterrence so long as there's a Dawn attached to this leader. Of course, we have two different packets here, a light-handed package of the Gecko Moria Thriller package here, and of course, because it's not leader locked, everyone's on this teach. Absolutely great trigger, shuts off abilities, can turn off rush, can turn off some other abilities for character, and KO something to 5k or less, which could turn off an on-KO ability too, which absolutely devastating. On top of that, the on-play being absolutely devastating. You go to the top 3 cards and put anything you want into the top of your life. We got Ronor Zoro that does some healing. Borsalino that does some healing. We got some Kuma does some healing. And why you want to do more healing than taking this is mostly because we have a lot of these cards that we want to be playing from life. The Gorgon Sisters, the Shakiyaku, the Bowie Marigold, the Boa Sanderson. We get some blockers from life here, which is super good. The Ran and Glorisa that can stack the life for you. We're at a nice little pinch. And of course, we got this amazing top end with the Boa Hancock 9 cost, which is essentially Big Mom, but in Boa skin. Let's be real. Really strong deck, playing 2 different engines. Super fun to play here. Sadly, not the best of the two blue-yellow decks, but still incredibly fun to play. And this deck's going to be going up against Yamato. And right here is where we're going to see the difference maker. One of the key weaknesses that I've been running into as I've been trying to test out this Yamato deck for the last several weeks, the fact I can get 6, 8, 10, and in some ridiculous cases, 15 swings, and with this deck, the biggest weakness to that is most of the swings I'm getting are 5K swings. Most of the swings in this deck are 5K. And when you're playing up against a blue-yellow Nami deck that could turn itself into 7K for the turn, the 5K swings kind of come moot at that point. This is where you're going to be leaning a little bit heavier. Now, what does this deck do? It's got a really strong ability. Anything that's land a Wano type that's returned from the trash gets rush. Simple. Simple. So anything you get back from the trash, rush. We have enablers. Starting off with a 6 cost, something you have to have on the 6 cost turn, or the turn you can play this. You want to have this in where you draw a card, discard a card, and you can trash this card to bring back an 8 cost Yamato. The 2 Yamatos you can get back, this unblockable, that has an on-KO ability to bring back the 6 costs and get the cycle continuing, so it makes this thing a little bit of a turn to attack into, but you do have a nice little unblockable. And then you have this Yamato, which on play gets to add a character to your hand and then play a character of 2 costs or less from your hand. So you get the 6 costs back for the next turn, and of course you can put out something 2 costs, which might be something like a Nico Robin Nami to get a search on, or a nice little 2K or 2 cost blocker here in the Usumaru. 2K costs the Sanji for the counter. Nice little blocker here, and I like this Kazuki Odin in this deck. Honestly, this is a thing I've been trying to make sure the deck can play odd or even as best as possible. It wants to be on even. It really wants to win some die rolls. But given that everyone knows this wants to be an even, you've got to come up with some mid-game answers to make sure that if your opponent puts you on the play, you have something to elongate the game and keep the hand size ready for the end game multi-attack. The way this thing works quite consistently is with the Mononosuke power that gives back the 6K from the trash, which will then be able to swing for 5, and then trash it to get one of the 8Ks back from trash to swing for from game here. So really, a lot of these cards are trying to do the same cycle of get this Yamato to swing, to get this Yamato out, or this Yamato out, and just constant swinging with these 8K bodies when possible. The problem with the deck is all these swings you can get, most of the swings you're going to be throwing because all the Dom that you're using is very limited for this matchup. Most of the swings are going to be 5K. So unless you're playing against a 5K leader that can't buff itself for the turn, or cards that do buff it for the turn, those 5K swings become moot. And something you got to look into. Because there's one thing that I have noticed while playing a lot of this deck. You are trying to get under most decks, but Dawn allocation is never usually an option for this deck. Ground Death, nice little defensive play if you can have it. You do have the engine starters here with some of these events. And of course, you got the extra swing with Yamato event I like. But this deck, if it doesn't get underneath your opponent, it really doesn't do well in the late game. And that's what it's going to come down to. The fact we're not playing against a blue-yellow Nami right here is a good sign. And we'll see if this one can fight through all the triggers that we're going to be seeing in this Yellow Life deck right now, as Cam goes against Sea-Dog on her first appearance on screen. So, as we stated, good start here for Nico Robin. Nice little pitch and 8 cost to draw a card. Draw 2, excuse me. And pass back. Nico Robin, an excellent card from this deck. I absolutely love that start when I have it. Gets the trash ready, so I'm already on set. But as you can see, Cam definitely putting Sea-Dog on the play here. So putting it at a disadvantage. And starting off with his own to set up his life to get something from life here to get characters going. So, Sea-Dog already looking a little bit behind here. If we go for a 5-5 swing, which is what I would recommend for this attack here, do the Nico Robin swing along with the leader swing here. Get as much counter from hand and fight through these triggers as much as possible. Cam already knows what it is. Here comes the Gorgon Sisters. So a great cheat out with the Gorgon Sisters. A great card. Allows you to reveal 3 boas to add Dawn to all of your characters. And Slave Arrow, the play here to get some draw engine. The second trigger here. So really interesting. Cam's taking these 2 early. That might mean Sam is either full, or I'm sorry, Cam is full of bricks in hand, or really leaning on having multiple bodies come out here from life. We'll see how this plays out here, but Gorgon Sister's a nice, good start here. This, of course, being the promo version of it that just recently came out. Looks a little bit different than the other Gorgon Sisters I was showing you in the deck list here. And a nice little boa blocker here to get things going. Revealing the 3 to get attached on to Leader and to all the rest of them. So Gorgon Sister's going to be a nice little 6K swing. Leader's going to be a nice 6K swing. Should have at least one more Dawn left. Here comes our first 6K coming into life. Sea Dog can 2K counter or take. Easy take here. And another 6K. Gets a 2. With the Sanji back to Sea Dog. Cam not interested in going board. Kind of makes sense. Usually after these 2 swings, the 5 and 5, really good and always recommended. But after this, it's not going to be the easiest attack strategy unless you don't have a turn 5 play. And of course, right now for Sea Dog, a nice 4 cost or 5 cost would be a great turn of events here. Nami going to be the search. Maybe getting a nice little 2 cost blocker out and a 7K swing. Or the Kinemon that just came off the top here is going to be a great play here. Here comes Kinemon. Another searcher off the top here. Well, probably looking for the 6 cost Yamato. But a good turn of events here for Sea Dog. Getting plenty of searchers and plenty of the trash filled up here to get this engine going. Guy has a Monosuke in the trash and already 3 8 cost Yamatos. So sitting pretty healthy as Sea Dog. Here comes our first swing of 5. We'll see if we get a block. Now, mind you, Cam really putting the power through with these blockers here, because now the blocker's taken and Don's attached, Sea Dog is going to have to take a life on this block. Really showcasing these really cool new abilities here with the 2 blockers that were added from OP16. One of the cards I think was really missing for this, and I like Cam's approach here, seeing how much of a difference it's going to make in this deck now that we have Boa Sisters at blocker and can activate, or easily activate, that bow ability to start taking life after activating blocker. Now, Sea Dog does have an advantage, does have some anti-blocker, and we're going to need it because here comes Borsalino for the heal. And a good curve for Cam here. Still has all 3 of them, so can easily attach the Dawn if we want to for Boa and... Yep, there's a reveal. Boa, Boa, Boa. Attaching those rested Dawn to the Boa Sisters and Boa. Boa coming in for the attack. Here comes the 7K swing. Sea Dog going to have to give up 8. Or take. But next turn is definitely going to be poised for an excellent turn here. Gives up a 2 and a 1. Here comes 7. This one on the take, or 6 for the take here. Passing back to Sea Dog. 7 Dawn turn for Sea Dog. Now we're going to start seeing the Yamato swings in succession, or at least should, if Sea Dog was able to secure a 6 cost in hand. Should be the play here for Sea Dog if it is available. Right now, looking in the trash for any of the 8 costs, and one of the ones we're looking for. Unblocker probably going to be the most optimal here of the selections of choice here. Borsalino, not a threat of taking a life here with the block. So good on Sea Dog for not having to worry about this blocker taking life on swing. But here's that 6 cost we were talking about. Draw, discard. Probably going to see the sack. Get back a nice little unblockable 8. Or if the yard's there, and I didn't see it, but there could have been 2 costs in life. So sometimes set up a wall is a nice little play here. But going to pitch another 8 cost here. Sacrifice the Yamato. Get back one of the 8 costs. Looking for the, what looks like the unblockable. There we go. Unblockable Yamato hits the field. First swing 6. No free block for Cam. Cam on the take. And no play. 6. Gets the 1. Or gets the 2, excuse me. Here comes the 8 cost. Unblockable. Cam on the take. No trigger. Unfortunate for Cam here. Not getting any of the blockers from life here, which will really help turn the tide here. But Sea Dog in an excellent position, having an unblockable and another turn where we could drop 2 of those unblockables and potentially swing for game. Cam is definitely going to be put on the back foot. Needs to think of a way to win this game if possible, or find some way to deal with these unblockables. But going up and trying to build up a wall is not an option for this deck. Do we have a way to pump up our leader by 2? Doesn't look like. Putting Teach ahead. This will get us some life, give us some breathing room. Going for 8. Look at the top 3. Do we see a Boa Sisters? No, we see a Ram, so we do have a character we can play from life to get a 5 cost, but we don't get a blocker from any of these 3. Gloriosa, it looks like we're taking... I imagine the take there was the Rin. To at least get a body from here. Showing all 3 for the Boa Sisters. Getting the attached onto Boa. And the Boa Sisters. Definitely a key piece of this deck is the Boa Sisters. Coming in for the swing. Cam wondering, do I go board? Can't get into the Yamato where I desired, but coming in 6. Gets 2 1s. Interesting. And another 6. Is Sea-Dog going to have to be on the take? No, with a 2K counter. All right, back to Sea-Dog here. Could be closeout or could be wall time. We're only at 9 Dawn. And massive swings here. Sea-Dog on the draw. Pitching a 6-cost Yamato too, mind you, but we could have the Yamato combo in hand here, but we're separating, so I don't think we have the Kazuki Mononosuke combo here. So tapping what looks like 5. Okay. Oh, we do have the other combo here. Here's the Kazuki Mononosuke combo with the 1 and 2, so I imagine we're going to see the 2-cost Shinobu. Here we go. Making Kazuki Mononosuke at 20, sacking it. Don't forget the draw at Sea-Dog. There is a draw from this ability, but here comes Mononosuke, the blocker, gonna get back a 6-cost. Give us an additional swing. Yamato back from the yard, fresh with the rush. Oh, I would have divided that up in 6 and 6, given we have a 6K Borsalino, but this is okay. 7 into life. Cam looking. Do I want to get the free body now? All right, gonna get the 9 out of life here. For the trigger to play a blocker. Okay. Blocker out from hand. I forgot about that ability from the Boa trigger here. 6, that's gonna get a block. It's gonna force to take a life for Sea-Dog. But still massive swings here. Both the Mononosuke, Yamato, and the other Yamato, and we can sack the Yamato for a swing here. And Sea-Dog missing a couple triggers here for the draw discard and the draw card here. Borsalino the block and the free block. Pitching it. Probably going to get another 8 cost here. I would imagine going for the one you can play a character from, but nope, going for the unblockable. Here comes the first unblockable. Cam on the take. Do we have a trigger? We do. Rin. Draw 2, discard. Cam looking for some counters. Needs to get some counters here. Here comes the 8. This could take his entire hand. Or it could be lethal. Cam discarded a lot of cards here. Mononosuke. Sea-Dog seen an opening. Is that enough? Yes! All bricks left in hand. Sea-Dog saw it, knew that she didn't have another turn, and just completely ends it with the Mononosuke swing. What a great finish from Sea-Dog on camera. And a great call. 4 cards left in hand here for Cam. Sea-Dog saw right through it. She saw it. She saw he was taking those early hits. He was probably light on bricks, discarded so many 1Ks, and knew for a fact that she was not going to survive the backswing. So trying to wall up next turn, having to face up against the board that Cam had built there, hadn't even got to 10 Dawn. I will repeat that. Had not even gotten to 10 Dawn to make sure they could survive that. And bam, taking away the game that easy. River, River, good to see you. Thank you so much for the exclamation point join. Sea-Dog, fantastic performance. That was outstanding. This is Yamato at its peak. Now, I will say, first time chatter, this was so cool to watch back. Great way to learn and get better. Thanks for the opportunity. I definitely did miss a lot of triggers, lol. Oh, Egg Roll, good to see you. All right, well, I mean, I'm going to count this because I know who you are. So I'm going to add you to the wheel here. I would like an exclamation point join because it's the first time chat. But good, I'm glad that you got to see that. There were a lot of draws and discards you missed to make sure your hand was ready. But seriously, big shout out to seeing the weakness and going in for that attack. Fantastic job. So proud of you. That was genius call, and I honestly think that you called it right. And it's the thing that I tell people about One Piece TCG. You need to know when it's your last-ditch effort and to take it. Sea-Dog did not have a winning strategy going back, given they already had to take 2 hits from those blockers from the Boa swings. That was it. This was game. Likely not to survive. Swing out and go for game and get the gold. Those that don't know, Sea Dog will unfortunately not be here for the last round, but Sea Dog did go undefeated in this performance. So congratulations, Eggroll. I really appreciate you. Great job, great performance, and I'm really proud of you. We got one last round. Xander's coming back, and this time against Hazelnuts and the dreaded Marshall D. Teach. Which we shall see which one of these two yellow decks will take home the championship from this game and this awesome celebration for all of our attendees in this amazing Season 7 finale. Thank you all for being here. Stay tuned. We got one more round left and 3 packs to give away. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Humber Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and thank you so much for your patience in there. YouTube doesn't know what I'm talking about when I'm cutting this thing up. It's okay. I had to take a long break on there, get some food. It is getting late. It's 9 o'clock at night here, and we're getting into our third and final round of this matchup here. We have two yellow decks. Xander the Dragon, the crown champion of Season 7, now trying to defend his honor for the box tournament here and getting the most packs from said box here to get some more chances at some massive hits from this new OP16 box sets here. Now, he does have one roadblock. Hazelnuts, who's the winner of the Heroine Cup and winner of most of our hearts, has been winning a massive amount and playing out for this game and really stepping up as an amazing competitive player in this format. Really trying out really hard with Koala, making it really work, and then now looking into this new Marshall D Teach, being impressed by what we've seen from Greg, or It's the Mole, from our channel, and his version, so much so that she decided to use the exact same deck list because she saw this, and now she's trying to put herself in the masterclass that is the Marshall D Teach. For those who don't know, Marshall D Teach is a very, very difficult deck to pilot. A very good deck, has a lot of answers, is a great toolbox deck, but it's one of those decks where if you don't understand the matchup and you don't understand how to play and where you need to play, what you need to play at what time, it can make or break different matchups here. This deck has a lot of answers to a lot of things, and it has some amazing new cards with and it's amazing able to play out these Marshall D Teaches, and we're going to go over those deck lists in just a fat moment here. But before we get into the deck list, I want to remind everybody who is live and watching me live, this is your chance to get in the running for one of these 2 free packs that we're giving away. We've given off some massive hits out of this box, and I'm getting a little scared that it might be a dead box, but it also could be the greatest hit of all time in here, and we could be getting ourselves an SP out of this box, which would be huge. Hundreds of dollars out in the grabs, and all we need from you is an exclamation point join in the chat for the first time chatters, or just to say hi. And if you don't need to chat and don't want to just engage, you just want to lurk, simple that will help the algorithm, help me, and will help you get some free packs at the end of the stream. And we got our last game rooted out there. Let's check it out. Blue Yellow Nami versus Black Yellow Marshall D Teach. So starting off here, to the last and earlier this day, we already talked about the Nami. Most of you guys have seen this deck. You know what I'm talking about. It's been through a lot of iterations here from Xander, but this is the final list that seems to be doing the best in today's OP16 format. Very, very strong leader, getting a 7K till the end of the opponent's next turn by discarding a simple card, but it does have to have a Dawn attached. As an amazing deck choice here. It's one of the reasons why Yamato is kind of squeezing itself behind, because it's very hard to get against a leader that can constantly be a 7K for the turn. But there is going to be some difference here now we're playing up against Teach deck here. This one also adding in the powerful Marshall D Teach that came out from OP16 to look at the top 3. Of course, we got the heal from Zoro and a quick grab from Gecko Moria if we need the insta heal. We got some new uses of Mr. 3 Galdino that freezes cards and draws cards. Super strong card in this format. Nico Robin, obviously the game-ending card along with the Marshall D Teach and our top end here. It is the Thriller Slop package, but it is a Thriller Bark package that makes this deck so consistent. And notably, playing 2 Gravity Blades, a card that has been fallen out of favor because everyone's playing anti-removal, but then when everyone plays anti-removal, then everyone decides no one will play anti-removal, and now this card has suddenly worked its way back into being one of the best removals in the game. This deck now going up against a new leader from OP16, Marshall D Teach. Opponent's turn, all of your opponent's characters gain +1 cost. Really good for black decks, really not that relevant in today's meta. But the other part that is, on your opponent's attack, once per turn, you may trash 1 card with trigger from your hand. Change the target of the attack to this leader or to one of your Blackbeard type character cards. And why does it matter? Because a lot of these things have some impressive on-KO abilities. So once per turn, being able to pitch a trigger card to make them attack into any of these other cards can be absolutely devastating given we have the right board state. And this is where it's important for you at home to know when we pitch, how we pitch, and the sequencing that we do. This is what makes this deck such a massive knowledge-based deck, a massive skill check type deck over the rest of the decks that happen to be in today's meta. Van Augur here, opponent's turn on KO. If your leader has the Blackbeard turrets, draw a card, then give it to one of your opponent's character cards, minus 3,000 power this turn. So an instant block and attack with this one. If you have end up KOing this Van Augur here, Then we have the Vasco shot. You get to draw a card and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. Another one of those where if you don't sequence it right and Blackbeard pitches, that secondary attack or the blocker that you might have sequenced it appropriately can get rested and taken out of the fight. Doc Q on KO if your leader has Blackbeard Pirates. Draw a card, then KO to 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. Another card that's been seeing a lot of great play. It is a 2K, but is very good against the Mirror, against the Blue Dolphy deck, of course, and the NL deck. This has been the difference maker. Most of these decks that are able to answer these 1 cost and 2 cost cards have been doing pretty well. That's why Wiper has been putting in some massive work, which I'm surprised isn't in this deck. Even though it isn't kind of like in sequence, but the Wiper is a very effective deck card at 2 in most yellow decks. Katarina Devon, when attacking, select one of your opponent's characters. That character's base power comes the same as this character's. So basically, this thing can copy anything on the board. It is a 2K. Most of the time, use a 2K. But if this thing's out and you put out a massive character, be careful. The attacks are going to get swapped. Baby 5, nice little 2K, but also a nice little draw trigger. And something you can pitch with Marshall D. Teach. Sun One Wolf on KO. If your leader has a Blackbeard Pirates type, draw 1 card, then up to one of your leader or character cards that gains power becomes 7,000 this turn. So a nice little like a nice little Nami effect if you KO this one. So super good, and it deters people from attacking into it in a certain order. Sure, you blocker. If your leader has a Blackbeard type, so it gets, of course, blocker. And on KO, if your leader's Blackbeard type, KO to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less. So most of this blocker is going to be Outso and Enzo with the Sure You blocker. Big SR here on play. Trash 1 card from your hand. Add up to 1 Blackbeard Pirate type card with a cost 6 or less from your trash to the top of your life cards face up. So now you have all these basic triggers, which are absolutely insane. Triggers that we really go over to, but most of them activating the on KO ability. So your opponent is now going to have to play, and you're going to have to play around how you're going to be activating these on KO abilities. Of course, Marshall Teach, we've already talked about, negating the ability in KO in a 5 cost or less. Can be 2 different characters, can be the same character. And of course, on play, you get to add, look at the top 3 and add any of those cards to the top of your life card. You have the Blocker Beard, which is Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard in this case, which is a nice little 10 cost that turns off the ability of one of your opponent's leaders and locks and freezes one of the other characters for an attack for turn. We have this promo Marshall to Teach. When attacking, negate the effects of all your opponent's leader and all their characters during this turn. Super, super negative out here. Turn off blocker, turn off any on KO abilities, turn off anything. This is the answer to the yellow slop that has all these anti-KO abilities. This one will turn it off for sure. My era begins. Of course, a nice little 1 cost here. Look at the top 3 cards and put the cards in trash to get things started. And the 1 card Black Vortex main, if your leader's Blackbeard cost, you can add 1 card with trigger other than Blackbeard from your trash to your hand. Nice little recycling. Black Hole, the 4 cost. If your leader has a Blackbeard Pirates type, negate the effects of one of your opponent's character cards during this turn, then this character costs a 4 less, KO it. So nice little KO ability, but also a nice little trigger card that works well with a Marshall D. Teach leader. We've got another one that's great. This is I Am Whitebeard for Marshall D. Teach, a card that I've been freaking out about for a long time here. This one, if you have 10 Dawn cards on play, you get to play a Marshall D. Teach from your hand for free, essentially. And then add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards to their owner hand. So we will take a life, but has the opportunity to either gain a life or turn off leader ability and freeze a character with the 8 cost while taking a life. Super strong power. Kenneth, good to see you. Welcome back. And of course, Falalad for the nice little search along with Lafayette. So great deck here. We're going to see the 2 brains go head to head in this yellow mirror match between Hazelnuts and Xander, the dragon. Both heads up. Looks like Xander is going to be on the draw 2 because Hazel, with no play here, puts a card underneath to get that sequencing proper. I love it. Always good practice. Make sure every single time you're playing, you play every single turn as best and optimal as possible. Hazelnut says, I don't want to watch this. Yes, you do. It's a good learning lesson here. Papa Squizzard, exclamation point, join. Good to see you. It's not going to hurt. It's going to be amazing. Great opportunity here. Good 7K swing. I love this opportunity. Vasco shot a good one to set up here, as it can be a redirected attack if we want to. And of course, we're going to get immediate thriller slot put in the yard here to start things off with a 2K and a 1K from Xander protecting his life here. But brilliant job by Hazel going around a simple 1K discard for this Tsunami leader. 4 Dawn turn here. Good opportunity to put out something, but it looks like we're going to get a nice little 9K. No, no, we do have 4 costs in hand. Interesting. Going to get a 5 on a hand here. Oh, we got the... Oh, I didn't even see that. They have the Mr. 3 Galdino out to here. So a nice little play here. And this one going to get probably the most optimal effect here. The opportunity to attack and swing... I'm sorry, attack and sacrifice, given Hazelnuts put something of value out this turn of the 5 Dawn turn, which is a good opportunity to do something. There's a lot of good card choices here. Sign 1 Wolf being one of the best plays in the turn 4 here. 4 Hazelnuts. We'll see if we see that card or if we see some other cards that could be redirected in this toolbox that is Hazel's deck. Like this swing, we got a 10K swing coming into to battle here. That's definitely going to be an auto hit here for Xander. On the effect, do we have a trigger? Trigger, but nothing in trash to account for. So, good hit here for Hazelnuts. Still has an active attack target that can be redirected. And a good turn here because now this Galdino cannot sacrifice for value. Hazelnut said, I saw nothing for the turn 5 play here, so sadly had to go for the big swing. In alternative, I like, personally, I like the 5 and 5. However, against Nami, a 10K swing is a smarter choice here. 5 and 5 not really going to do you much of value here. Might do a 5 and 7 to try to get 2 cards in a hand. Given you had 5 Dawn, could have been an option that would have gotten some cards on a hand here from Xander. But, yeah, is one of the best options you had at that time. 2 different options. I think getting the 1 life here was still going to be an optimal goal here. But the only other option you had there was a 5 and 7 swing for that turn. Nami going to be instantly taking in our first life here. Adding one of the rest of Dawn to the Nami. 1 open. Are we going to see a 7 swing? Already saw the 5 from the Mr. 3. Of course, Xander drawing from taking a life. From the Nami here. Are we going to see a 7? Are we going to see 1 open? Looks like we're going to see the 7. 7 coming to life. Need a 2 and a 1. And we're going to redirect the Vasco shot to rest that Nami. All right, might mean we could do something to deal with this Nami. Call the bluff from Xander to see if he has a 6K to put in play. And at 3 life is a good call because the Borsellino is offline if that happens to be the only choice for Xander the Dragon. We'll see if Hazel does go board here. Papa Squizzard with a subscription. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. All that helps goes a long way. Thank you for the subscription. And hopefully you don't have to worry about those pesky little advertisements, which I feel have gone up. Is anybody realizing that the commercials are going up here? I feel like I'm seeing that thing a lot more than I used to. All right, sure you the play. Good play here for Hazelnuts. Basically comboing that, putting it back into life here. By activating that trigger last turn, able to get an answer to put the Shiryu online. Here comes the attack, 6K to life, looking for a simple discard from Xander. And likely going to be a pass back. Xander going to look at whatever he wants in his hand for the discard. See what he gives up here. Off camera, sadly. So we're just going to get the 2K and push. Midnight, welcome back. Good to see you. And thank you so much for the exclamation point join. Of course, we'll have you added. This is the last round of the tournament, so we will be ending it after here and giving out the wheel. We've got what is the 7-8 Dawn turn here for Xander. A lot of 4 drops. Could start the Nico chain here. Love how he puts these in these 2 different piles, even though he never really actually plays like that. Here comes our first swing. Test the waters at 6. Trying to get some information, see if she has a 2K. Looking pretty dead, but it does look like we do have a 2K in hand here. Also have the opportunity to redirect into the Shiryu. Yep, that is the play. Here comes a basic 6. And a take here. So I'm going to get a nice little draw card. Nothing to rest here, but looking for a nice little draw card. Good on Hazel. Had the option of add that to hand or going for the draw. Goes for the draw for some more answers. Nico Rob in the play here. Going to take a life, add 2. Now Xander back to 4. And Papa, thank you so much for the use spamming the emote. Appreciate you on that one. Drawn for turn here. Due to the Nico Robin ability. Having taken a life. Back to Hazel. Should be up to about 6 cards at this point. couple of options here. We're getting closer to the 9 Dawn turn. Here's 8. Look at the top 3. Add one to the top of the life cards. Could be virtually anything in this deck. And next turn, we're going to start seeing some potential for the Z. Or... just realized the audio was off for you guys. 1 second. I got a button for this. Only 1 Dawn away from being able to see this play, but using that 1 Dawn for the Van Augur. Nice little alternate target. Here comes a 5. Look, easy discard here for Xander. And then we're going to probably see a Sure You attack to end this turn. We'll see if Hazel is interested in playing the game of replace my 6K. Would probably be the most optimal time to do it, given most of the cards that Xander could play for 6K are not going to affect the board state that much. Midnight, I'm sorry. This is the Blackbeard matchup. I'm sorry, Midnight. Not a big fan of the Blackbeard here. All right, Marshall to teach the play here. Xander looking like he might be wanting to play that Mr. 3 Galdino from hand, freezing this thing up. 10 Dawn turn here for Xander. Plenty of options and plays here. A lot of cards in hand here. 4 life to 4 life. Both looking pretty strong. Got his first Nico Robin Altar out. 3 cards in hand for Hazel. So defensive looking a little bit weak. However, don't forget, a lot of trick plays here for this Marshall to teach. Can easily switch the attack target. Make a free block or get a nice little beautiful on KO, which could be quite devastating if put in the right timing. And of course, just 1 turn away from potentially seeing some massive combos here. I didn't see it in hand, but Hazelnut's going to need to see both the Zihaha and a Marshall Teach. Here comes a nice little swing for 7. Or 8, excuse me. 8K coming into life. Hazel probably going to be on the tech here. Hazel says, and when it's and when this is everything starts to not be fun, we'll see. We'll see. No spoilers, Hazel. No spoilers. We're here to watch and have some fun here. I saw how well you were putting up a good game here. This game came really clutch towards the end. But 8 into hand here. Hazel on the has to take. Do I want to redirect the attack now? And I do. Gonna take the Van Augur, get the draw card, and immediately lower the attack of the Nami here. Good heads up play here for Hazel. Really going to make him force an investment. But here comes 10, likely going for Blocker Beard. And sadly, this is going to be just enough for the 2 Dawn to make this Nami still a viable swing target. That 3 is so good, but unfortunately gets a 6. And this chain of events with Edward Newgate, this will be making both attack targets a viable attack viable to attack here. Instantaneously turn the first one. Here comes attack with the character first. 5K to life on the take and the flip. Looking for the top 3 for a card with trigger. Has a couple options. We'll see how Hazel takes. I don't believe Lilith was in his deck, Hazel. You didn't tell me that you were playing with this card here. Lilith is a new addition from what I was seeing, unless Greg is now playing with Lilith here. And Hazel saying, I trashed the wrong card early in the game, and man, did it hurt. Yes, it is one of those big thinking cards. You got to think about what you want to take here. Another Lilith off the top, looking for some trigger. You'll have to let me know, Hazel. Did Greg switch up now too to the Liliths in deck? Because that's a surprise to me. I'm using Greg's last deck list as you suggested. But Lilith is a new ad. I like this. Gonna get Katarina Devon. Good call and good answer here. This was a great earlier game, given now we have a 12K Blocker Beard, and that will make Katarina Devon a potential 12K swing during the appropriate turn. We'll see how this goes. Hazel looking just to set up the discard for Xander. Could get a free block, which would be kind of embarrassing considering Edward Newgate can free block the other one. Oh, big 10 cost play here for Marshall D. Teach. Gonna freeze Newgate. Yep. and freeze the turn off the leader ability here. So no discarding for protection for Xander here. That is another thing I almost forgot to mention. These 10 cost new gates turning off Nami's ability to discard to 7k is actually quite an effective swing here. Now Xander gonna have to give up 1k. Does have it. Papa Squizzard turning me off on the Blackbeard alternative name. Thanks for that. I guess he just really likes to hear Blackbeard. Coming in for a massive swing for Blackbeard into Nami. And Xander on the take. That's one of the things I didn't even realize, that you could actually back-to-back these Blackbeard 10-cost blockers and really put in some power pressure on this Nami deck here. Especially if you can combo it with the Oh, for love of God. I'm not saying the first half of that. It's going to come off a little bit weird, don't you think, Hazel? You want me to say the first half of his name or his alter ego? And people are wondering what kind of stream they're coming into, as I have to say the color or the lack thereof, because it's not really a color. What are you guys doing to me here? Now I just got to say the villain versus the Nami. Or was that your intention all along, Hazel? That was your intention? You wanted me to start just making race wars out of this? Nami versus Black. 7k swing coming into our villain. And I have to say that, Hazel, because you made me. Trigger off the top, draw 2, discard. Or is it just draw 2? I think it's just a draw 2. Get some instant value from that baby 5. Still got a couple swings here left from Leader and Nico Robin. Not a whole lot of rush from Xander's deck. And of course, a free block also possible here. Here comes 9. Good opportunity to get the free block here. Oh, gonna do the redirect. Interesting. Okay. And a free block here would be optimal for Hazelnuts here. Not a lot of rush coming from Xander. You don't have to worry about rush. Would be a good turn just to get that free block out of the way. Xander looking like he's got his own villain to play for this turn. Hazelnuts, I did not use blockers enough. I was not thinking. Yeah, you do have that free block. All right, there we go. Got the free block. Okay, looks like we're going to go for a different strategy here. Marco and Mr. 3 Galdino, the play here. Imagine we're probably going to lock down the... okay, yep, the 8-cost villain. And now, Edward Newgate is open. So the villain, 3 attacks here, 3 life. Be really good, but it looks like we're going to have to start getting some searches based on what we've seen Hazelnut put to the lead here. Full lead to the top. Probably going to get some search on. Would have been a better start to see that earlier in the game for Hazelnuts. Especially to fix those hands and get things working right. Can't see if we have the combo of Zihaha. Not in hand, it looks like. But going for the full lead search. Look at the top 5. Add. All right, there's one of the combo pieces. We can combo it now. Do we have the villain to add to it? Play. Take a life. Can it be the 10 cost? It is the 10 cost. Excellent. Freezing Edward Newgate. Turning off the power of this Nami. And definitely coming in for some massive swings here. We do have a blocker to protect one of these swings, but this is going to be absolutely huge for Hazel. Getting at least these 3 swings without any kind of concern here. 5 coming. Looking for 1. Does Xander have it? Has a 1. Here comes the next. Block, draw 2 for Xander. Gonna need these cards in hand. There's a big 12k coming his way. And deciding to keep it back for the block as Hazel. Smart, only down to 1 life. Good call. Keep the blockers. This is how this deck works. The villain here needs multiple copies, and if we can get a turn where we feel safe swinging with it, I'd say definitely one more combo of Zihaha and a 10 cost. We're cooking with gas, and this game is absolutely over for Xander. No way he can recover from this. But Mr. 3 Galdino absolutely put in some work, and looking like that might be the play here, as it is an answer. And that, and what's really lovely here is that Gravity Blade absolutely useless in this situation right now. Not going to have a great options for the 2-for-1, and it's going to be a turn off for the turn for Xander here. But going for first swing 6, looking for 2. Does have a lot of the 2K. Can't see on the debate here. 6 in the life. Hazel on the debate. Saving the 2 12K blocks for the next 2 attacks would be optimal. And based on playing with the life, it looks like we did get a 2. So, back to Xander. 7. Free block would be optimal here. Remember, you can always redirect 2. So if you're afraid that they're going to that Xander's going to load up on the Nico Robin, you always have that opportunity to just redirect with one of those pitches from hand. Xander with a fat hand here. And Nico Robin going to be depowered here. Here comes 5 to life. Free block would be optimal. Here we go. Yeah, I think the other one should have been a free block personally here. Borsalino for the heal. And are we going to go for another Galdino? Lock up. There we go. Galdino going to lock up the Marshall Teach likely. Yep, good call. I like that call from Xander because if he chooses the blocker version of this card, Hazel just doesn't swing. It's a blocker. The freeze doesn't stop the blocking. It just prevents the attack next turn. All right, looking like we do get a potential for one more combo piece. Can we get a 10 cost off the top here? Would be our optimal swing. Getting a Van... Oh, dang. Vasco shot the play here. Do we have it, though? We are at 10 Dawn. All right. Do we have a heal? Or 10 cost? Oh, the other 10 cost. The Altard here. Great answer here. Again, freezing blocker beard. Freezing leader ability. Xander has got to be sweating it with that fat hand of his regardless. That is so much to fight through. But is this a turn that Hazel pushes through? Xander with a lot of cards in hand, but has not been able to activate the Nami leader ability yet. So Hazel on the debate. Do I push or do I wait one more turn? Xander trying to heal for his life here. Best attack would start off with a sure you attack, test the waters, and see what happens. A block from Borsalino says a lot. Gets the information. Fat hand here, but a lot of no counter here in Xander's hand. So definitely have to be careful with the way Xander navigates this turn. Brilliant job. Use the Mr. 3 to the maximum value here. Locking this down. Had he not had the ability to freeze this, I'm pretty sure this would be absolute lights out here for Xander without those Galdinos. Here comes 6. Looking for 2. We've seen he has it. There's the 2. Now, 8. Looking for 2 2Ks. 2 2Ks. Got it. All right. If I'm with this information, I hold. Sadly, I got to wait one more turn. Didn't get the blocker, sadly. Yep. Gonna pass. 3 blockers up. 1 life. Defend this turn. Next turn. Make it lethal. Hazel, if using the exact same list from Greg, will not have any more blocker beards coming this turn. But does have the opportunity to push in a massive swing next turn. Maximum Dawn. But right now, Hazel needs to survive. And Xander needs to heal. Looks like Teach put up 2... I'm sorry. Yeah, I can say that. Right? No, I can't say that one. Has it been 5 minutes yet? Villain, excuse me. Villain brought to the top here. Ooh, Nami swinging in, getting a free trigger. Looks like we can turn off the Bors. We could KO the Borsalino, or we could turn off the Nami and KO. Wait a minute, what happened here? What's going on? Wait, hold on now. Wasn't the last trigger Ziha? 6 coming to life here. Ziha. No, I'm thinking of this trigger here. Sorry. My bad. My bad. This one, draw 2 cards, trash 1 card command. Sorry, I was thinking about the trigger from our villain over here. Alright. Going for the draw cards. Three blockers left. 3 basic attacks coming in here. Would be a good opportunity for Hazel to block out of these. Free block. Xander with a 6. Go for the free block. I don't know why I saw a pitch from hand here. Would have gone for the free block here, Hazel. No reason to waste resources. Caldino number 3. Jeez. Draw 2, freezing that a 3rd turn on a row. The villain has been. And Papa Squizzer saying it has been 5. Thank you. So teach is now legal for a word. Thank you. Appreciate that, Papa. See, I can perform. I can perform around these things. Certain limitations. It's a little bit difficult though. You guys are hitting like the hitting the actual deck that only plays like every copy of itself. Another heal here for Borsalino. Xander just putting up all the work here to keep himself out of range. And sadly, Hazel probably not going to have an opportunity here to get another 10 cost, which would honestly be lights out. A 10 cost, honestly, right here, in my opinion, would be it for this game. Full lead the play. Gets a search. Looking for the combo pieces. Hazel, very little left in deck here. Turboing through the answers here. Looking for something. Another blocker beard, if 10 is the case, would be a lights out, given we can lock down blocker beard, turn off the ability for Nami, and fight through these swings. But without it, I don't see a way for Hazelnuts getting this game back in her favor. 8 cost heal, not a bad answer. Do we have the Ziha combo? Tapping some Dawn here, replacing it. No, but it's just the play, not the combo. Gonna get a heal. Good start. But likely mean Hazel's gonna have to play a little more strategically here. Gonna need to leave these blockers up. 7 and an 8K, the best answers we're gonna get here. And Xander finally able to use the Nami ability to block out of these attacks. But Hazel can pressure the hand. Of course, blocker beard can be used as a free block, but if Xander's willing to use the blocker beard early, that could make it a vulnerable target for some teach swings. Here comes 5. See if we get a Borsalino free block. Neither player seeming to be using these free blocks. Borsalino free block would be absolutely optimal right here. Going to get to the 2K. Okay. Big swing here. 9K coming into life. 2K, 1K. That's enough. Wait, no, it would need two. I think it's 2K, 2K, right? 7, 9, 10. No, that was 10. That was 10. That was 10. Get the maths right here. Hazel on the question. If she attacks with one, she's going to have to attack with them all. Goes to the Vasco shot. Interesting play here. Looking like trying to set up some play where they getting the reduction on attack here might be able to turn one of them off from attack. We'll see how it plays out. Xander 3 blockers. Hazelnut 3 blockers. Hazel running down in options here. Both of them pretty well walled up here. Xander on 3. Hazel on 1. Xander going to test the waters. What do we got? Hazel just looking for one turn where she can alpha swing with our entire board here. It makes me really question why you got rid of the Shiryu. I know that this looks like an option, but I mean, given the fact that if we're looking at the board right here, Xander really only has 4 options of attack here, and you have 3 free blocks here. And you have the leader ability to discard into it. So given you can convince Xander into an all-out swing here, if he swings all out to get your 1 life, he loses. So your board state right now pretty much locks up his only viable attack targets. You're both kind of like in this weird standstill where you have 3 attackers and 3 blockers. But your blockers are much harder to get around. So given you're in that type of situation, I would have kept the Shiryu here as an offensive swing because his Vasco shot's just a slaughter for the land. First attack, 6. And Hazelnut's on the attack for some reason, but gonna draw a card, rest of the Borsellino. Good play here. Hazelnuts knew what it was, so maybe this is the turn trying to put to the offense. Take was purely just to get this thing going to get rid of one of the blockers here. But one of the other things that I want to remind Hazel here, we could have had an opportunity to bait the blocker beard swing and made that take even more devastating, because if Xander thought he had 2 blockers to stop your onslaught, you could have made it 1 blocker and made this a very easy mass to get punched through. So taking kind of early like that seems a little risky, in my opinion. That's a great card and a great answer for this, but I think I would have tried to bait the 12k attack first, or one of the 6k attacks even, just to get that rest here, because we knew that you can't swing with both. And you could have had a chance to really screw over the defense plan there. So while I love what you did and set up there, Hazel, I think taking the attack later would have been the play. And of course, Hazel, you know, I do this out of love. I do this out of your own concern, just to kind of analyze what we're doing here, look at this and see how we would have played this out. Because I love that you put out that trigger the way you did, but you got to time it just right. This is why this deck is so hard to play. You got to time it right. It looks like we're going to go for another heal to Xander. Using his own teach. Top 3. Kikanojo is a free play for a character. Not a lot of great options here. For Xander, a top 3 not looking great, but he could add a blocker beard to hand if he wants to go for that life just to get it. Blocker beard. Zoro is kind of a little bit out of range for the heal here. But Kikanojo could be a 6k body if for some reason Xander wanted that. Good board state though. So the Kikanojo really not going to be of much value at all here. None of those counter, by the way. So nothing great to even add to hand for counter here. Xander definitely disappointed with those top 3. If I'm Xander here, I think I'd go for the 10 cost blocker beard. Just so I have another answer for potential offense next turn. And Hazel with 2 free blocks. 1 redirection ability still. And Xander in the tank here for what he wants from these 3 cards. None of them being of great value. Looks like Blocker Beard was a choice. And a pass back from Xander. See, and this is why I'm saying it would have been better to activate it later, because now you got Xander, who's not going to attack with any of these cards to put any kind of offense out, where you could have trapped for an easy swinging with just 1 blocker. But given you also gaining the life here really puts Xander in a better position. But a decision I think Xander had to make, given you had rested the other blocker so early. Because you rested it, Xander was like, oh, gotta heal. Because Hazel now has enough swings to potentially swing through my defense. Full 10 Dawn, full bodies. But Hazel, this has got to be it. Look at the top. Grabbing a cost. A Zihaha combo would be very devastating right now. Definitely help with getting it. It looks like we're just going to hard cast. The 8 cost. Can go for a heal. Hazel running out of options here. The deck looking like it's got about 5, maybe 7 cards in it. Some decent 1Ks in hand, but really brick heavy is Xander. But 5K into life, instantly activate Nami Leader, getting up to the 2K. Hazel smart not to add anything to board here. Here comes 11. Into Borsellino, interesting. Trying to get rid of those defensive plays here. To at least get some kind of value out of having rested that Borsellino. Free block from the Blocker Beard. Now Hazel with the opportunity to swing into the Blocker Beard and get this thing removed, but also making herself very, very vulnerable on the counter swing from Xander. Oh, okay. Replace... I understand kind of the thought process of keeping the Vasco shot out there for the redirect, but you can redirect to the blockers. I get it, but I don't value the Vasco shot right now. Not this late in the game. That minus reduction is not going to be, or that resting the blocker thing is just not going to be that impactful. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys at home think that you definitely would value that Vasco shot over another Blocker Beard for an offensive swing next turn. And here comes Xander for life. All 10 Dawn. Marshall Teach. Nico Robin. 2 Borsellinos. Whatever Newgate and Leader Swing. Has to get through 3 blockers. 1 life. And 2 attacks have to land. Hazelnut's probably with about 4 cards in hand. That Gravity Blade doing absolutely nothing in this game here. Due to actually, because Hazelnut's hand was actually so weak and had missed so many things that that card is actually a dud for this matchup. And only because Hazelnuts was missing those early game drops. Oh, man. Xander looking, does he have a chance for an alpha swing here? Massive gunned up board here. If I'm Xander and I can heal one more time, alpha swinging is the absolute best way to go here. Because I'm not afraid of an alpha swing from Hazel at this point. Here comes 7. Do we get our first free block? Hazel does know what the trigger is, so the timing could be right. Hazel in the tank could use leader ability to redirect. All right, on the take here. Sound One Wolf. Put the leader at 7K. And drawing a card. Xander drawn for turn because of Nami ability. Now has 2 copies of Gravity Blade, both not doing anything. And now Xander with all the Dawn and attacks in the world here. Really just needs a swing. Here comes 9. Redirecting that. Rest of the Borsellino. 3 attacks left here. Could easily put some of them and stress them. Deciding not to. Going to go for another heal card. Nope. Yes. Excuse me. Yep. Nico Robin for another heal. Take a life. Could 2. Go to 5. Now that mountain is absolutely insurmountable for Hazel. 5 Dawn. That's just too much life for this board. And not enough attack targets. Xander probably going to pass the turn, leaving Hazel in a very, very difficult position. Not able to punch through 5 life here. Looking at the tallest of tallest mountains is Xander. Hazel said this was the point I was going to crash out. I can absolutely understand how you feel, Hazel. 5 life. This mountain has been pushed outside of your limits and capability of getting back into this. You don't have enough tax to get through. An alpha swing puts you in complete vulnerability, and you're out of options here. You're down to 3 cards left in deck after the search. Zihaha no longer the option to get back into this game. No 2-card combo is going to get you back. Xander has sufficiently locked this game out of reach for Hazel, locking it down with that last life gain. That being probably the nail in the coffin for what is this match. But good on Hazel, never giving up. True tenacity, never giving up. Fighting to the very end. Pushing herself to the very end. Never giving up. Never surrendering. Hazel says, I saw the Robin and wanted to throw the whole hand. I don't blame you. Hazel, honestly, if in your situation, I'm watching it in my real time here, and I would want to do the same thing. It's just too much of a hill. It's too much life gain. And sadly, Hazel with the only option to grab another searcher. Both players with next to nothing in hand. Or on deck, sorry. Xander showcasing less than 10 cards. Hazel with what looks like 4 or 5. Xander going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards in deck for Xander. Lafayette, what's the search? 2 cards left in deck for Hazel. My era begins. Another search. Hazel going out on her own terms. Going to draw out. Oh, wait, that's right. Lafayette does put it at the bottom. That's right. Lafayette does put it in the bottom. My bad. Hazelnuts believes that the Robin needs to be banned. I'm not objecting to that. I'm not objecting to it. I am a Nico Robin fan. But the late game heal, kind of annoying. Not going to lie. And a card that you can't swing into, kind of annoying. But that's what they do when they power up yellow to this nth degree here. It's why you really got to get underneath these decks. Like, it used to be the Blocker Beard combo would be enough to win the late game. And now blue, yellow Nami showcasing so much life gain saying, I don't care. I mean, back when Martial D Teach 10 costs was a problem, it was the same thing. You'd either get 3 Shanks 10 costs or 3 Martial D Teach 10 cost. The game was over. Now the new meta for late game is Blue Yellow Nami. Hazel with only what looks like 3 cards, maybe 4 cards left in deck here. Massive swing here, going all out. Got a 10k swing. Free block from Blocker Beard, just add insult to injury. Xander on the take. Oh, jeez. What looks like Gecko Moria from Life, any 4 cost is now live, but decides to take. What a gentleman. Obviously realizing all the 4 costs he has in the yard are not even better than what his current board state is. Big swing here. Looks like 12k to life. Blocker Beard to 1. 2k. Hazel can attack the Nico Robin. Go out on her own terms. The second time today, someone just wants to go out on their own terms. Hazel, attack the Nico Robin. Show them what you're made of, Hazel. Control your destiny. Attack the Nico Robin. Sadly, a pass back. Xander. 6 threatening swings. 10 full dawn. 8 cost Teach. 7 cost Nico Robin. 10 cost Blocker Beard. 5 cost Borsellino. And 1 more 7 cost Nico Robin to end it. Plenty of cards in hand. But is this a turn we go for game? Hazel, no life, 3 blockers, 1 redirect. It's all in the maths. Hazelnut says, I'm not going to lie. I definitely thought about ending it. Hazel, I would not have blamed you. Ooh, 3 cards in hand. Honestly, Hazel, that's exactly what I would have done. I'm sorry. I would have attacked Nico Robin, said, nope, screw it. You're not going to stop me this time. I'm going on my own terms. After that 5th life, I can't see that anyone overcoming that mountain. It was just too much life gain from this yellow deck. Way too much to come back from. First swing, here comes 9. Free block for the Blocker Beard. Next swing, here comes 9. Free block. 10. Free block. 3 attacks left. No blocks left. Only 1 redirect. Nine. This will likely eat the redirect. There it is. Redirected to Blocker Beard. All west. Blocker Beard coming into the attack. 2 cards in hand. That is going to do it. Xander for the closeout and win. And the 5 cards that were left in Hazelnut's deck. Congratulations, Xander. Excellent finish. Jeez, what is that life? Oh, God. Guys, 1 second. You guys see this? What is this life? What is this? What is this? I'm disgusted and appalled by what I see here. All right, that is going to do it for round 3. Congratulations, Hazel. I feel you. I feel you. Xander, excellent performance. Hazel, some extra steps. Could have got you there if you could have gone a little bit faster, a little bit lower. I think if you would have done the double swing in the beginning, really got underneath this deck and put the pressure out there and saw the combination of cards, I really think you really could have got more from Xander. But who knows? The games are really hard. The longer games go, I don't know if there was a deciding factor, but there's certain things that we can always improve upon. Xander did a brilliant job of navigating those turns, and I think there was a couple free blocks you really should have protected those cards. Hazelnut says, I will get my revenge against Xander. Ooh, that's a good attitude. That is a great attitude. Yes, Hazel, I love that. Keep up that attitude. Get that revenge. Love that. Keep this rivalry going. That's what I want to see. Thank you for that. Love to hear that. I'm not giving up yet. I'm not giving up. This is how I go out. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get good. I love it. That is fantastic. All right. Looking like we got the wheels set. 2 packs to give away. Why are there so many ads? So many ads. Looks like we're going to have to move with some haste here because the ads are trying to push themselves through. Let's go on to spin number 1. Ooh, Sea-Dog. Sea-Dog on the win. Yes, I'm not illiterate. Egg roll or egg roll. Congratulations, but Sea-Dog, our winner for this pack. First time chatter, first time winner. I always loved seeing this thing. Congratulations, Sea-Dog. Here's your winning pack. No red back. Could have an alternate leader. I think that's one of the options too, is an alternate leader. Here we go. Older brother, Jimbei. Otama. A lot of words. Magellan. I'm Magellan. Are you Magellan? McGuy. Mr. 3. The 3 Admirals. Usopp. Yamato Leader. Monkey D. Luffy. And are we going to close out this box with our last hit? No, Mr. 1 Dosbones. All right, double rare pack. If they get a 4th hit from here this early, I don't know what I'm going to do with this box. I'm going to be so sad. Like, I don't want to hit every single hit from the early again here. Dabigo says, I didn't see my name. I'll show it to you in 1 minute. Right here. Right here. I wouldn't forget you, Dabigo. I got you. I have made mistakes. I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm just perfect. I get everything right all the time. Sometimes when you guys catch it, and I do appreciate it, if you do catch it, I made a mistake, I put your name on twice the next time. So it's not like I haven't made a mistake. But I did get you. I got you. Thanks for keeping me honest. All right. Final swing for it. Oh, don't need to apologize, Dabigo. Do not need to apologize. Keep me honest. Ryder. 2135. I've learned a long time ago to err is human. And I will make a lot of mistakes. I make some errors when calling things. I make a lot of dumb calls sometimes. But I get better and I get stronger and I get better from it. And someone questioning me on it, I don't get offended by it. Because I'm well aware, just as everybody else is, you can make mistakes, but it's what you do about those mistakes that matter. So thank you very much, Dabigo. I appreciate the call out just to keep me honest. It's great. But if you ever do find out I do miss you, I will get you 2 entries the next time. Guaranteed. Last pack going away to Ryder. Let's call this up and close this up here. Ryder, do we get the last hit from the box? And I cry because I have nothing left in this box to give away. Midnight says, don't ask him about remembering names. Oh, yeah, right? Midnight, you 100% right about that. It comes to names. Porcastiace, Arlong, Monkey D. Carp. Lots of words. Moji Kabaji, Hannibal, Doc Q, Don Quixote Rosinante, Yamato again. Wow, double Yamato. All right. Yamato again, Vasco Shot, and Vista. All right, our first double rare pack day out of this box. Double rare pack. It was bound to happen eventually, guys. Not all these packs are heaters. The nice thing about getting the community box is every hit goes your way, so you're guaranteed to get it. We're calling off the deep lore. Yes. Midnight, also known as AKA Taylor, was called Lauren for the longest time. The deep lore has been released. Yes, and I made that mistake for a very long time. Didn't correct me, mind you. But that is how bad I am with names. And then, of course, I had another friend of mine that was like basically making it so I would constantly get it stuck in my head to keep thinking of it. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Always an absolute honor to be able to do these live streams with you. We're going to be back live again this coming up Thursday, or Wednesday, excuse me, this Wednesday. Same time, same channel, same content with OP16. Right now, we're going to do a raid. What we got here? Primal card TCG. Some live TCG. I like this. Let's do some live raid here. Always love seeing some store gameplay. Hey, girl. I'll get you in a minute. We got ourselves a raid. And of course, the ad wants to play. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for this just amazing opportunity to be here, casting these amazing games. I hope you guys are all preparing like I am for the Fire Flame Fruit tournament coming up here in September. Because trust me, I'll be grinding out all those games and trying to get as much practice as possible. And super excited to see how this meta evolves as we get closer to September. Stay tuned for that and much more. But until next time, stay humbro. YouTube, take care.